What a beautiful way to start something by flashing some huge melons and peaches. Finally, some peace was felt within my soul. Well, it is just a glimpse of what is about to happen to our protagonist, who is a young middle school boy who sees how amazing his life is about to be. The protagonist, Kaushi, tells his story. His house had burned down, and his dad, instead of taking responsibility, moved to another town. Since then, 12-year-old Kaushi has started roaming the streets as a lone wolf, more like dying of hunger on the streets, begging for food. Kaushi gets absolutely the worst diarrhea, which needs no explanation, of course, when he eats scraps off the streets. As he is lying on the street out of hunger, someone stands near him and says that some foods just spoil faster.
Oh my God, bro.
When Kaushi looks up, he sees an absolute meal standing in front of him with her legs open. Not the food Kaushi needs right now, but she asks what he wants to eat. The reason she gives is that she needs it for future reference, as she is a researcher. But right now, Kaushi is fixated on seeing her Victoria's secrets. She brings him to her dorm and feeds Kaushi. An actual meal, not just her pants, that Kaushi was very much seen looking at. After Kaushi finishes up his meal, she says Kaushi can totally use the dorm shower and clean himself. Kaushi is astonished as to why this girl is offering so much. On his face, there is some food stuck, which is sucked from Kaushi's cheek by the girl in her mouth. Blushing, Kaushi runs to take a bath, and the girl says to fill her in on the details of the shower. As Kaushi is running to the shower, he looks around the place and wonders about it. He wonders if this is the girl's home, but it is literally too big. But Kaushi brushes off his thoughts and takes his clothes off to take a warm shower, which he has not taken in ages. The moment our young boy enters the shower, he sees heaven on earth. 3 young women, absolutely full in all the right places, are already taking a shower. One of them passes a comment on Kaushi's private stuff and says it looks like a cute little elephant. I'm not sure whether it was a compliment or an insult. Kaushi, out of embarrassment, yells and runs out. His yell is heard by Athena. She looks at the window, and it's foggy, an indicator of the girls taking a shower. She shakes her head, saying that these girls don't even attend their lectures. Athena enters the dorm and meets Mineru, the girl who brought Kaushi into the dorm. On the other hand, Kaushi, running out, stumbles on Athena, and both of them fall to the ground. Making a perfect landing, Kaushi's face is inside Athena's skirt, and his chin is squeezing her thing. Mineru looks at the girls who were already inside the shower and realizes why Kaushi ran out. The girls laugh and say the kids sure are ballsy these days. Kaushi makes his way out of Athena's skirt, and he is red out of embarrassment. Athena yells out of shock too. The girls, on the other hand, playfully hold the poor boy down and say that he is under arrest for the mischief he has done. But it looks like Athena has fainted out of shock, so she needs help. Athena stutters that a boy touched her holy moly stuff and faints again. Later on, the girls introduce themselves to Kaushi and what this place is like. This is the goddess dormitory of Seekin Women's University, where they all reside. First, Mineru introduces herself as a senior in her 4th year, to which Kaushi introduces himself as a first-year kid in middle school. Mineru continues to introduce the other girls, calling them lecherous. Senshou in her 2nd year, Frey in her 3rd year, and Hazumi, and she doesn't know exactly how long she has been here for. The girls apologize for the thing that happened earlier. Kaushi says that since he has no place to live and no money to survive on, he has to find a job. He wants to continue his schooling too, but has no resources. Then Mineru suggests that why doesn't Kaushi work as their dorm mother? This way he can have a job too. Kaushi happily agrees to it, but there is a little setback. The girls still have to convince Athena. They knock on her door and ask if Athena is okay with Kaushi as their dorm mother, as his house has burned down and he has no other resources. Athena straight away says no. A boy as their dorm mother, hell no, says Athena, locks her room, and after a while leaves the dorm. She doesn't want to live in the same place as a boy and says Athena will find herself another dorm. Kaushi is confused as to what her deal is. Mineru says she is a first-year student and she recently moved here. Her family is mostly women because Athena has always been sheltered and sent to all-girls institutes. Mineru further says that she left her old dorm because she walked in on her roommate being fishy with her boyfriend. The moment Athena saw this, her nose started bleeding. That is how uncomfortable she is around men. Pretty understandable. Kaushi asks them why they hired him. Mineru says that is because it is annoying to see Athena always bleeding her nose out the moment she sees a man. So having Kaushi around would make her comfortable, maybe. Frey says that in the meantime, they should unpack Kaushi's stuff and help him move here. Hearing it, Koshi says that they don't need to because he can't have a home by making someone else homeless. Picking up his stuff, Koshi runs out to approach Athena. Koshi loudly tells Athena to stop and wait for what he has to say, but Athena starts running away from Koshi as he stops her. Then Athena stops and says she is not running away, she is just protecting herself after her last storm. Koshi says that he understands the boundaries Athena has. Then he further explains that Koshi denied Mineru's offer so that Athena could live there easily. As it is not his home, it is Athena's. Other than that, it is not easy to unwind quickly at a new place. As the night falls, Athena is making her way back to the dorm, but Koshi's words of kindness are playing in a loop in her mind. Then Athena remembers that Mineru mentioned Koshi's house had burned down. But still, Koshi was willing to protect Athena instead of himself. She realizes how selfish she was and just wanted to look out for herself. Poor little Koshi is sitting on a park bench at night in the cold weather and is almost about to catch a cold. He knows if he sleeps there, Koshi might never wake up, but he is still glad that it is not Athena who has to sit like this. Suddenly, Koshi's eyes close and he falls asleep on the park bench. After he fell asleep, Athena approached Koshi and said to herself how she could leave him after hearing his tragedy. Koshi's eyes open and he realizes he is being carried somewhere. He feels safe and warm, and whoever is carrying him smells amazing and feels incredibly soft. Soon he realizes his hands are on some absolutely soft honkers. Those honkers, being no one else's, are from Athena. As she realizes that Koshi is awake, her discomfort makes Athena's nose bleed. She yells that she can't handle men and faints. Returning home, Koshi is carrying Athena on her back. The girls of the goddess dormitory open the door and welcome them back. Sensho carries Athena on Koshi's back and puts Athena's head on her lap. Meanwhile, Mineru pats Koshi on the head, saying that he did a good job. Koshi says that Athena tried her best to face her fears. He doesn't want to disappoint her and wants to be the best dorm mother to all of them. But then Koshi turns to Athena and wonders if she will forgive him. Frey assures Koshi that Athena went out of her way to find him. That should be enough to know that he is forgiven. Then Mineru says that now they all should be good friends to her Mr. Dorm mother. Koshi exclaimed out of happiness upon hearing that. I would be happy too. Working between such hotties would be a dream come true. The next day, Koshi starts working at his new home. As he is working, some women walk by, passing comments that this dorm is a problem dorm. Spotting someone outside, which is Koshi, the women move away, saying that they could never live here. Koshi brushes it off. No matter what the reputation of the place, he now has a safe place to live and a respectable job. Back to work. Now he has to clean up the actual mess. The second floor, which is literally so dirty, is even more dirty than your mama's pants. Koshi observes that every room has dirt outside of it except Athena's room. She always keeps it clean. But since Koshi is the dorm mother with the spirit to clean, he says he will take care of it. With that, he rings the doorbell of Mineru, which blares an alarm, scaring the heck out of Koshi. Mineru opens the door and asks if Koshi is okay. He says that he was there to collect garbage outside her room, but Koshi got scared by Mineru's alarm. Mineru assures Koshi that there is nothing to be worried about. It is completely safe. What is more scary to Koshi is that, as he looks down, he sees Mineru standing naked with a loud coat on top. By this time, I am so sure that your tissues have ended. Mineru says to Koshi that he does not need to overwork himself, but if he wants to collect the garbage, he can come at night to do that. There's no way she is flirting with a 12-year-old. Koshi covers his eyes and asks her why she isn't wearing any clothes, to which she replies that it's just a bad habit of hers. Besides that, Mineru says that she is a researcher, and for her experiments to show clear results, she has to stay naked. Koshi begs her to cover herself, at least for his sake. Then Koshi crawls out, saying that he will continue to collect garbage in the morning from now on. What a loss this kid is putting himself through. As Koshi is lying down on the floor, pondering to himself that he has to get used to it, a hand grabs him into a room. It was Frey who grabbed him. Frey cosplays him into a cat-made outfit. Koshi says that he has to perform his duties, but Frey cuts his statement off and says that it is a part of his duties too. Having fun ain't that bad, and as a dorm mother, he should have a little fun, Frey says. Frey then says that she is a cosplayer and that all the outfits she has are handmade by her. She loves to wear them and dress people up with her outfits. Further, she adds, when Frey spots someone with a perfect body, she swoops them in and dresses them up too. Kaoshi says that this is how people get arrested too, to which Frey says that no one knows about it here. Pondering himself, Kaoshi thinks that Frey is the complete opposite of Athena and looks like she has a few issues of her own. Then Frey takes out a measuring tape and hands it over to Kaoshi to take her accurate measurements. As Frey completes her sentence, she drops her skirt in front of Kaoshi and takes off her shirt too. Now she wants her measurements double-checked by Kaoshi since it is part of his job too. Blushing, Kaoshi begins checking it, but he gets too shy and tries running away. But the measurement tape gets stuck in Frey's lingerie, and she falls on Kaoshi. Her massive watermelons are squeezing on Kaoshi's face. Frey smiles, and Kaoshi dies of embarrassment. Frey asks if this thing he did was on purpose. If yes, Kaoshi should allow her to teach a lesson. Suddenly, Mineru opens the door and says that she accidentally made a toxic gas, and now the building needs to be evacuated because of the toxic fumes. Mineru pushes both of them out with her and says she will explain what happened outside. Outside the building, the three of them stand, looking at the toxic fumes escaping. Kaoshi asks Mineru if it is harmful to let toxic fumes into the air. Passing a hot girl check, Mineru says that as long as she is not being sued, she is good. Kaoshi exclaims, how can she be so calm about it? To which Frey says that Mineru is known as a walking toxic fumes generator on the campus. I wouldn't mind if she suffocates me with those fumes if she keeps her lab coat open. Mineru says that Frey is known as the dressed-up demon, and Kaoshi thinks that this is why this dorm is called the problem dorm. Mineru and Frey turn back to the building and say that they have to wait until all the toxic fumes escape the building. But it is a bit cold to wait outside naked. Kaoshi gets mad about what would happen if something bad happened because those are toxic fumes. Mineru said that no one got hurt, so it's alright, and Frey adds that stuff like that happens all the time. Kaoshi says that this is not the point. They should reflect on their actions and show remorse over them. Both of them are stunned and apologize to Kaoshi. He starts sweating as to what he has done by yelling and runs away, saying that he should not have yelled at them. Mineru and Frey look at him, confused that they are not even angry at him. Kaoshi on the street stands, thinking how he has messed up and he should literally not have done that. At least he should have shown them respect for being older than him. But it looks like our little boy has forgotten that he is wearing a cat outfit. The public starts taking his pictures and thinks that Kaoshi looks funny. He suddenly remembers that Kaoshi has left Mineru and Frey behind in a much worse situation. But behind the scenes, the two girls discuss how it felt good to be scolded, like a change of pace. They realize that they have found a good boy who will actually take care of them. Now they are feeling cold, but Kaoshi runs to them with a blanket to cover themselves in for a while. Mineru and Frey ask him how he got it, and he replies with a special skill, begging. The girls wonder if it was tough, but Kaoshi says that no matter what, he had to do what any decent man would. Being their dorm mother, Kaoshi obviously has to look out for them. Melting at his statement, Mineru and Frey squeeze Kaoshi in their arms, saying that he is looking out for them. Kaoshi blushes while Frey and Mineru thank them for being so patient with them. Seeing them so close to Kaoshi, someone's nose starts to bleed again. Yes, you guessed right, it is Athena who yells what the girls are doing to a kid. As the night falls, Athena gathers the girls and says that the goddess dormitory can't go on like this forever, and they need to fix it. For Boy's sake, since he is a middle schooler and they are college girls, if they want to create a wholesome and good environment, they have to create an orderly fashion. Seeing confusion on the faces of girls, Athena explains that she has always been against girls roaming around dressed improperly. Especially since a young mind now lives with them, she won't allow it to corrupt his mind. For that, Athena will crack down on immoral behavior. Mineru says that she understands Athena's point of view, but she loves being naked. As she says that, Mineru flashes her melons again, to which Athena grabs out a weapon that would stop them from staying bare all the time. With a weapon that literally just rubs the melon, the other girls find it fun and wait for their turns. Back at the kitchen, Kaoshi is enjoying the view. I mean, why won't he? Kaoshi's room, designated for him to sleep after his duties, is on the first floor. While he is lying down, Kaoshi wonders that when his house burned down, he would have never thought that he would get to sleep on a warm mattress ever again. He can't help but feel grateful for Mineru and the other girls. On the other hand, Mineru is experimenting on something whose results won't be as interesting to women, but now she has Kaoshi, a man, to experiment on. The perfect guinea pig for her experiments, Kaoshi suddenly feels really cold, so he tries to get some sleep. There, Frey has made another costume for Kaoshi to try on. It seems like Kaoshi's chills just got intenser after that. In Athena's room, she is practicing Fuki Mamoru-kun, her weapon to stop girls from flashing their squeezies. Athena vows to bring morals to the dorm. Kaoshi's chills suddenly get better, and he feels warmer, and now he thinks he can sleep peacefully. Well, not for long. Then Kaoshi feels something banging on the ceiling of his room's roof. If he remembers correctly, above his room is Kiria's room, and it is banging violently, exactly the way a single mom's bed bangs every Saturday night. Kiria's bangs break through the barrier, and she is seen struggling to pull herself up into her room. Her hot, milky thighs are literally just hanging as Kiria apologizes to Kaoshi. Kiria says she will be landing in his room because she can't pull herself up. Kaoshi tries to be of help and wants to carry her, but she jumps. His face gets squeezed up in Kiria's thighs, and she falls down on him, to be precise, on his face. As she lands, Kiria asks, while still sitting on Kaoshi's face, if he is alright. Only if I could exchange my life with Kaoshi. He says it is hard for him to breathe, and she really needs to get away from him. Kiria gets off of him and apologizes while saying that she will later fix the ceiling. But Kaoshi asks how this even happened, to which Kiria says that it is a long story. Kaoshi spots something in the mess of the ceiling, which Kiria, embarrassed as hell, picks up quickly. She picked it up as if it were some cultured stuff, but it was just a shoujo manga. Kaoshi is confused as to why she is so embarrassed over it. She begins explaining that her parents own a martial arts studio, and Kiria was a student there too. Growing up with a bunch of brothers, the environment was pretty masculine for her. Then, Kiria went off to college and bought her first ever shoujo manga. Seeing a world so sparkly and beautiful existed too, which brought her feminine side out. Kiria got hooked on it. Out of her emotions, she would hit different objects, and since she has martial arts training, the hits would break something. She even practically showed it to him as she read the manga. Kiria hits a wall so hard that it breaks. That is when Kaoshi realized how Kiria broke through the floor. Kiria gets flustered with her emotions and gets super physical. Nothing new, just another resident with entirely different yet concerning issues. Kiria apologizes again to Kaoshi and promises to fix all the messes she made in his room. She could totally mess my face up, and I would not even mind if she didn't fix it. Kiria asks if she could sleep in here for just a night with him in his room. Kaoshi gets confused about what to say. After all, sleeping together with a boy seems immoral in his opinion. Then she says that she tosses and turns a lot so she could fall off the floor again, and Kiria would get hurt. Kiria says she doesn't mind sleeping with him because she is so used to it because of her brothers. That would turn on y'all incest-loving geeks, I'm pretty sure. As they turn off the lights to go to sleep, Kiria said she wants to talk to him for a bit, but with a fishy look on her face. She explains that Kaoshi reminds him of her brothers back at home. It makes Kaoshi feel warm, and he turns to her and says that maybe she actually meant that. But as soon as he turns to her, Kiria takes his hand, puts it between her melons and thighs, and squeezes him along her private stuff as if she were attacking him. Kaoshi asks what the heck she is even doing, to which she replies that Kiria's younger brothers would do it all the time. Honestly, how can someone's younger brother not make them puke? Kiria begins moaning that this sensation is feeling like ecstasy to her and brings back a lot of memories with her brothers. Kaoshi yells that he gives up, but Kiria seems to be enjoying it a little too much, her limbs all tangled up together. Then, suddenly realizing this, Kiria leaves his hand and begins apologizing to Kaoshi for what she was even thinking, attacking an amateur. Kaoshi says that he is not mad at her or anything like that, so she doesn't need to apologize. He kindly advised her that even if Kaoshi reminds Kiria of her brothers, they were still not related, so she should maintain her distance from him, as he is still some other guy, but he suddenly realizes that maybe Kaoshi is the pervert, and this means nothing fishy to Kiria. He runs away to Kiria's room with his mattress so she can sleep in his room. Kiria asks him to be safe and not fall through the hole. He nervously yells goodnight to her. As Kaoshi sleeps in Kiria's room, Serene smells Kaoshi's smell from Kiria's room. Kiria, lying down to sleep, thinks that this is the first time a man has talked to her, like he feels protective of her. According to her, it could be her dream of shoujo manga coming true, and her life would get beautiful. Kaoshi hopes that Kiria doesn't ruin his room even more than she already did, as he hears her moan while she is dreaming. Kaoshi goes back to sleep, and a while later, Serene enters the room. She sits near him and says that Serene thought it was Kiria, and that she would ask to make her a late-night snack. Half asleep, Kaoshi looks at her, but Kaoshi is really tired and sleepy. Serene looks at her back and sees Kiria making another mess by breaking through the floor. But if Kaushi becomes her servant, she could repair the entire room using lunar technology. With his eyes closed, Kaushi says he doesn't know what it means, but he agrees to it. Serene comes on top of him and kisses Kaushi while he's asleep. But he thinks of it as a dream while she fixes the room with lunar technology. The next morning, Kiria finds it amazing that Kaushi fixed her room in just a night. But Kaushi doesn't remember doing anything at all last night. That is when he realizes that what happened last night was not really a dream. A while later, Kaushi, fulfilling his duties, starts making the girls some breakfast. He chops down the vegetables and begins cooking something. Athena wakes up, and Kushi tells her that he made vegetable soup for them to eat. Athena is amazed that he actually made a meal for the girls to eat. Mineru and Frey come downstairs too, smelling the breakfast. As usual, Mineru is naked, and seeing her melons, Athena attacks with Fuki Mamoru-kun as if it would stop Mineru. They both start almost playing and attacking. Kaushi is amazed to see so much energy in them as soon as they wake up. Kiria walks out, saying that she didn't know Kaushi could cook. Finding it cool, Kiria leans on the edge of the counter, complimenting his cooking, and Kaushi thanks her. Serene, on the other hand, sits on her knees in the kitchen and eats the soup with Kaushi's hands. She loves the taste of it, so she begins eating it right from the pot. As the breakfast is served, the girls begin to eat it down. They love the homey feeling they get, and they tell Kaushi that he did an amazing job. Kaushi says it is nothing but he wants them all to eat well. Mineru says for his reward, she would like to try her newest experiment on Kaushi. Then Frey says she wants to try on a new costume on him as a reward. Kiria adds too to try a new spar with her on Kaushi, that too, as a reward for making such a good breakfast. Athena wonders how Kaushi became such good friends with everyone except her in such a short span of time. Athena begins getting all the wrong thoughts that maybe Kaushi did something fishy with the girls when Athena was not around them. Serene pulls Kaushi's shirt to ask him to make dinner too, as he made a really good breakfast. Athena is so baffled that how did he even manage to tame such a wild animal like Serene? Kaushi says that he would love to do that for them. Then he asks what they even eat, to which they all reply at once, instant meals. Kaushi asks if he can get some money to get some stuff from the grocery store. Mineru points to a piggy bank that he can get the money from. The money can be taken out from the butt of the piggy bank. I need the Amazon link for this piggy bank whose butt could open. Kaushi thanks them for trusting him so much, and Kiria says that they all live under the same roof, and he's like a family member now. Athena wonders if she is sure that something did happen and how the girls would give him something so important as their bodies to him. As Kaushi begins to leave for grocery shopping, Athena stands up, saying she would like to go grocery shopping with him. Kaushi asks if Athena is sure, and she says she is. Upon her agreement, Kaushi looks happy and appreciates the effort Athena made. But on the other hand, Athena just wants to clear her doubts from Kaushi. How did he win everyone over so soon? After all, he is a man too. He can't be trusted this easily. But Mineru says, what about Athena's condition? And pushes Kaushi on Athena. He stumbles from the push by Mineru. While Kaushi falls between the melons of Athena, and along with Athena, Kaushi feels extremely nervous too. As usual, her nose starts bleeding out of nervousness, but Athena wipes it up saying that it is not a condition but just nervousness. Later on, Athena and Kaushi go grocery shopping, and Kaushi asks if Athena would be okay. Athena says she will be alright as long as she has her masks and nose plugs on. Kaushi says that she doesn't have to come if she feels uncomfortable, but Athena says she would be fine as she has numerous nose plugs she got to not bleed. Well, not for long. The moment she spots some men, she gets so nervous and starts bleeding out of her nose plugs and mask, and it soaks in blood. Kaushi says that on second thought, they should go home, but Athena is determined. She tries to sneak into the grocery store, but Kushi tells her that she is an amazing person. Most people run from their fears, but she is facing them, and he is proud of her bravery. This is something Kaushi hasn't just noticed today, but also on the day he first arrived at the dorm, that she faces her fears. Athena even carried Kaushi on her back, despite her fears, because she is brave enough to face them. Because of her, now Kaushi gets to live in their dorm and has a roof over his head and a respectable job. Athena finds herself melting on this statement. She says that Athena is thankful to him that he forgave her even though she was running away. Athena was so touched by this act of him. but she suddenly realizes that maybe this is how Kaushi was able to win the girls over. With that, Athena starts running away, but Kaushi tries to stop her because he sees some other men ahead. But she stumbles into men again, and Athena knows she messed up. She gets nervous that she doesn't even have her nose plugs on, and Athena can't always seen bleeding out of her nose in public. But still, Athena's nose bleeds, and Kaushi calls her Aneki, quickly carries her in his arms, and runs off with her to an internet cafe where she could sit. Reaching an internet cafe, Kaushi and Athena sit in a room nervously. Kaushi is worried if Athena is mad at her because of the situation that occurred earlier. At once begins apologizing for the inconvenience he caused her, and Kaushi should not have done that. Athena says she is not mad at Kaushi because of that, and as a matter of fact, Athena is not mad at Kaushi at all. But Athena has an unusual demand. She wants Kaushi to call her Aneki. Kaushi is totally confused, but Athena says to call her Aneki once again as he did back there. But still, despite the confusion, Kaushi calls her Aneki, and Athena finds herself in another heaven. Athena keeps on saying to keep calling her Aneki to Kaushi. But it seems like, being called Big Sister, Athena feels the electrical spark, turning her on in her entire body. She wonders if this is what it feels like to have a little brother. Athena then gets up and thanks Kaushi for protecting her back there and how he fulfilled his duty as a little brother. From now on, Athena wants Kaushi to think of her as his big sister, and she will always protect him no matter what. But as she stands up out of the spirit to protect him, Athena's skirt falls off, showing her Victoria's Secrets. Athena apologizes for it and wants to put her skirt up again. Both of them get extremely nervous. Athena's clumsy self tries to somehow wear the skirt, but ends up squeezing her peaches in Kaushi's face accidentally and falling on his face. The life this 12-year-old has is better than my 21 years of life. Out of her condition as to seeing men, Athena's nose bleeds again, and both of them yell and blush. As they walk back home again after the grocery shopping they did together, Kaushi midway apologizes for the things that happened to her today because of him. He explains that he had no intention of making her uncomfortable, but Kaushi still thanks Athena for coming with Kaushi and for trusting him enough. But Athena cuts Kaushi off, saying that he really shouldn't thank her, as she assumed the most terrible things about him. All of the girls trust him because Kaushi spent time with them and did not do anything sneaky. She apologizes to him for not trusting him. But now she begins pondering the thought that she has to somehow help Kaushi. Later at dinner, all of the girls loved what Kaushi cooked for them, and they could eat it daily. Athena wonders what she could do to help him. In that while, Mineru pulls Kaushi onto her lap and says to eat with her, and Frey squeezes him in her squeezes too. Athena gets mad at the girls and attacks with Fuki Mamoru-kun again, to make the place have some morals alive, to which the girls playfully say to let them have some fun for a while. Suddenly, Athena pulls Kaushi behind her back, saying that, as her bigger sister that Kaushi has made her, she has vowed to protect Kaushi. Then Athena turns to Kaushi and says, "Isn't it right?" To which Kaushi says yes, Aneki. As soon as the girls hear the word Aneki from Kaushi's mouth, they all gather around him, saying they will protect him like a big sister always. Athena finally feels like some morals are being brought back into the dorm and smiles, and feels happy about that as everyone begins bonding more with Kaushi. I need some hot older sisters too who would protect me like that, keeping me in their arms. As a good dorm mother, the next morning, Kaushi begins his day by doing the girls' laundry. What he did not expect was that girls do have undergarments too. Mineru greets him good morning with a bra in her hand for Kaushi to wash. Kaushi exclaims looking at it, that they should at least wash their underwear by themselves. Teasingly, Mineru says that she almost forgot to give him the underwear she is wearing right now. Kaushi gets nervous when he sees Mineru taking the underwear off, but she says she is just kidding. After doing the laundry, which is now another tough job, Kaushi has to air dry the laundry, which is not the hardest part, but it has lingerie too now. But since it is his job, Kaushi has to do it. Kaushi hangs the lingerie he washed and covers it from around so no one can see it. I'm not sure if the lingerie would even dry now that it is completely covered up. After the chore, Kaushi sits on the bench, looking at the sky and the clouds. He wonders if the residents of the dorm have any plans for the Golden Week. Laying down, he realizes that it has been 2 weeks since Kaushi moved into the dorm. Since his house burned down, he has not gone to school. He accepted this job so he could go back to school too. Kaushi wonders how his school friends are doing since he has not seen them in so long. Later, Kaushi prepares breakfast for the girls, while the news anchor on TV seems excited about Golden Week. The Golden Week comprises 10 days of holidays, so it looks like everyone will be home for 10 days. After he has placed everything on the table for the girls to eat, Kaushi goes to the girls to call them downstairs for breakfast. Kaushi first goes to call Athena and calls out her name from outside the door, saying that the breakfast is ready. She says she is coming right out, but Athena says to call her like a younger brother would. This sounds so hentai, but whatever. She demands that you call her Oni-chan. Kaushi blushes, but Athena says, please, he should do as Athena says. Then Kaushi says to her that, Oni-chan, the breakfast is ready, and Athena comes right out hearing that. She greets Kaushi for good morning and apologizes to him, saying that Kaushi always has to cook for them. Saying it is alright, Kaushi further adds that he always likes to cook. Moreover, it is literally his job. But as Athena is about to pat his head, she realizes Athena is still a bit hesitant to do it. But Kaushi assures her that she does not have to force herself to do so. Despite that, Athena tries forcing herself, and even Kaushi gets nervous as he sees Athena's massive watermelons coming near him. Being an angel to Kaushi at that time, Frey grabs him behind and teases him about what he is staring at. Further teasing him, Frey says that it looks like Kaushi likes sheer dresses, and she could model in them for him. Seeing Frey getting incredibly close to Kaushi, Athena attacks Frey with Fuki Mamoru-kun. Frey asks what she has ever done, as if she did not know what she was doing, and Athena tells her she was trying to seduce Kaushi, which is an immoral act. But Mineru cuts her off, because it doesn't look good coming from the mouth of someone who insists on being called Oni-chan. Oops, Athena's kinks have been caught. Athena asks why Mineru is even spying on her, but Mineru says that the walls are thin. Kiria stops them, saying she can't handle such an insult as being called off as a kinky person for wanting to be called Oni-chan. Now they want to start a competition to see who is the best older sister to Kaushi. Kaushi is in for no good because the girls are just doing it. After all, they are bored. After that, the girls finish the breakfast and thank Kaushi for it. Now the competition begins. They all sit right in front of Kaushi, and Frey asks him to call her Oni-chan. But he sounds hesitant, and that is obviously because Frey has put him in a girly dress. It does low-key suit him, as he looks like a girl. Now it clearly looks like he for sure is the younger brother. Frey says that all older sisters do that, but Kushi says this outfit looks for a younger sister and not a brother. Further, Frey adds that as long as he looks like a pretty doll, it doesn't matter. Doll, exclaims Kaushi while blushing. Since younger brothers are playing things for older sisters, Frey says, but Kiria says that Frey is disqualified since no lying is allowed, and Frey lied to Kaushi. Now it is Mineru's turn, and Frey asks what she would be doing. Mineru says that she will be testing a new experiment of hers since the best guinea pig is a younger brother. But before even starting, Mineru gets disqualified and Serene finally wakes up. They ask Serene if she wants to take part in it, but Serene instead sleeps with him, which looked more like a pet impression than an older sister's, so she is also disqualified. Well, now it is Kiria's turn, and she says that it is time to show how you treat a younger brother. Since Kiria has younger brothers already, everyone has high hopes for her. But Kiria ends up practicing martial arts on him in such a fishy way that no sister would ever. This incest-loving woman throws Kaushi down in a 6-9 position, terming it martial arts. Unable to breathe because of the huge stuff Kiria stuffed in his face, Athena separates them. Athena assures Kaushi that Oni-chan is right there for him. But the girls know that Athena is secretly feeling tingly after getting called Oni-chan. Kaushi, half fainted, places his hand on Athena's arm and accidentally ends up removing Athena's top. Finally, the nerds have reached the climax after seeing Kaushi topless. Well, you all know what is coming next. Athena gets nervous and embarrassed as hell, and her nose bleeds again. Later on, Athena apologizes to Kaushi for the nosebleed. The girls seem concerned for Kaushi and want to take care of him. Kaushi wonders that it might be crazy around here, but it is not too bad. Not too bad? My dude, this is something I would give anything for. Then Kaushi says that maybe this is how it feels to have older sisters. All of them are super touched by it. From behind, Mineru makes her entry, saying that after the Golden Week is over, Kaushi will get to go to school again. Kaushi, hearing it and not sure, is either surprised or worried. He asks, doesn't it require any paperwork? Mineru says that all she had to do was sign some papers, and now he is enrolled. Mineru says she did not do it all alone, but Frey helped her too. But Koshi knows that they had to go through a lot to do it, and it did not just happen like that. Koshi respectfully thanks them for their effort and bows down to them. He says that he will be a good dorm mother and a good student now. Frey and Mineru feel happy for Koshi and begin clapping hands. Athena wondered why she considered herself the best older sister, but she couldn't even think of such a good thing for him. Obviously, she first needed to get the kinks out of her head, but still, Athena genuinely feels really happy for Koshi. After the Golden Week is over, Koshi goes back to school. It is his first day after the incident. Koshi stands outside and can't believe he is back to school, something he stopped hoping for. He is so happy about it and walks into the school. A friend of his spots Koshi walking inside, and she is equally surprised. Koshi seems to be emotional about everything, as his eyes get teary looking at his own shoe locker. Now he gets to enjoy the perks of being a middle schooler. Suddenly, someone kicks him in the face so hard that he falls down to the other corner. It was Staya, Koshi's friend, who angrily asked him where the heck he was. Staya keeps a foot on him, and her short skirt reveals her pink pants. "This mommy could keep her foot on me, and I wouldn't mind." She says Koshi could have at least left her a text. But then she melts and says she was so worried about him. That soft side was just for 2 seconds as she left him again, saying she could not care any less. Then she walks away from Koshi. Ah, pure woman moment. The story between Koshi and Staya is that Staya is Koshi's classmate, and she can be a bit touchy sometimes. Who doesn't want that? The two of them have been friends since way back, that is, since preschool. Staya realizes what she has done out of anger, and why couldn't she tell him that she was worried like a normal person, and now she feels embarrassed. Koshi stops her from behind to listen to him at least, but Staya switches again to her cold behavior and says not to talk to her. The dramatics of a woman. Apologetically, Koshi keeps telling her that he should not have kept Staya in the dark and should have informed her where he has been since the incident. He tries telling her about the hardships he has been through. Staya looks at him with anger in her eyes as well as some warmth, and then sits in the classroom. Koshi sits in the class too, wondering she is so pissed at him and doesn't know how to handle her now. Said every man ever. Well, it is also because Staya was also very worried about Koshi. He thinks he should have called or texted her from the dorm through anyone's phone and let Staya know about his well-being. Promising himself, Koshi thinks that he will tell Staya everything. But is talking about the goddess dormitory really a good idea? The bear woman roaming around does not seem like a really great idea to him. He screams, thinking about the goddess dormitory, and has to hide the details of it somehow. The teacher gets scared as to what happened and asks if there is something in the textbook that gave him such a reaction. After the class is off, the teacher approaches Koshi, consoling him that he heard from one of his relatives about what happened to him. The teacher says that if Koshi needs any help, he will be there for him, with his eyes teary. Koshi begins connecting the dots, saying that Mineru acted as her relative to get him into school. Then Koshi spots Staya leaving and tries following her to get her to listen to his point of view. Trying to stop her, Koshi holds her hand, and she yells at him to let go of Staya's hand. With that, Staya yells at him to never touch her like that again and runs off. Koshi begins to blame himself, saying that he forgot about her condition and held her hand. He is the worst friend. On the other hand, Staya sits on the rooftop, blaming herself, saying that she is her worst friend too. Since then, she wouldn't even try to understand Koshi's tragic story. What made Sathi run was her unique condition. Her body is more sensitive to heat than average people's. So whether it is the warmth of some object or just the weather, just another person's heat is enough to make her feel absolutely miserable. But Staya's condition is something that led to Koshi and Staya being friends. A few years ago, when Koshi and Staya were younger, Koshi was playing with other kids while Staya sat alone because of her condition. But when Koshi sees her sitting alone, he goes to Staya and reaches his hand out to her. Staya says she can't play with him because of her condition, and Koshi runs inside the school. Staya thinks he left, but he went inside to make his hands cold. Koshi comes outside and holds her face so Staya can feel the hands being cold, and she can now hold hands with him to play. Still to this day, Staya feels the sensation of his cold hands on her face. The way she reacts is the opposite of how she feels, but Koshi has never left her side. He is always looking out for her. Suddenly, Staya's vision starts to blur because she is sitting in the sun. Koshi, since he is the protagonist, shows up and worriedly asks Staya why she would sit in the sun since she doesn't handle heat well. He places his hands on Steiya's face, and she wonders why his hands are cold. Obviously, Kaoshi did not completely forget about his own best friend. So Kaoshi replied that he brought ice packs to keep her feeling cold because of her condition, something he is well aware of. Further, Kaoshi adds that finding the ice packs was not easy, but Mineru helped him find them in the dorm somehow. Steiya is confused about the dorm and Mineru, as she has never heard of it before from Kaoshi. To clear out her confusion, Kaoshi says he will explain it to her from the beginning. But right now, Kaoshi has to take her inside the school or else she would faint from the heat. Later on, when they get inside the school building, Kaoshi tells Steiya the entire thing about what happened and about where he is living now. Steiya can't believe he is living in a women's dorm, and it sounds suspicious to her. So she says to show her the dorm, as Steiya wants to look at it herself. Hearing it, Kaoshi gets frustrated and says Steiya should right now look after herself, as she can't even walk straight, as if Steiya got banged by Kaoshi's cute elephant. Steiya struggles and insists that she wants to feel it, and they both fall on the bed. Not just they fell, Steiya's dress was revealed, and little 12-year-old cherries showed up. While they were lying on each other, Steiya shared that she wanted Kaoshi to touch her and get closer to her. With that, she places Kaoshi's hand in the middle of her melon. But then, Steiya gets embarrassed and kicks Kaoshi so hard that he falls against a cupboard. Poor Kaoshi gets nothing but high hopes and then gets kicked off. After school, Steiya follows Kaoshi to the dorm to look at it herself. Kaoshi says it is just a dorm, and there is nothing special about it. But Steiya says it is a women's dorm, emphasizing women. Possessive, crazy women are my favorite gender. Seeing him stop Steiya, she gets suspicious of him. Steiya asks if there is a reason behind his guilty conscience, or else why he keeps on telling her to go away. Oh, poor little thing, she doesn't know what she is about to see. Kaoshi exclaims no, and then he realizes he has no reason to feel guilty. As Kaoshi has done nothing wrong, all he is doing is taking care of the residents, who happen to be mostly naked. But his mind flashes the naked honkers of the girls. He screams that they should not visit it, to which Steiya replies that there is definitely something he is hiding. But Kaoshi defends himself, saying that there is no reason he should feel guilty. Suddenly, Kaoshi hears an emergency. Well, Mineru made another mess, and the toxic fumes began to escape the dorm as he saw some purple fumes exiting the dorm. Mineru and Frey run outside the building, as usual in little to no dresses. Sighting Kaoshi, Mineru and Frey wave at him and say welcome back. Mineru says she had another accident. Another accident is causing more global warming, but since she is hot, let's let it pass. Well, now it is visible to Steiya why Kaoshi did not want her to visit the women's dorm. Her mouth is wide open when she sees just a lab coat hanging on Mineru and some really short clothes on Frey. Announcing her presence, Athena says she is home. Athena spots Kaoshi and Steiya standing together, as Kaoshi looks even more nervous now. Asking Kaoshi about who the girl is, Athena gets introduced to Steiya as his classmate and friend since preschool. Kaoshi then tells Steiya that Athena is a resident here and totally a normal person. Athena gets confused by the introduction Kaoshi made to her. Hearing the conversation, Mineru and Frey came downstairs too. Frey thinks what a classic storyline it is. A childhood friend seems interesting to her. Her eyes sparkling, Frey says that Steiya is better than she imagined and leans in to touch her. But right before Frey touches her, Kaoshi stops her. He explains that Steiya does not like to be touched since she has a medical condition. Well, now it is more interesting for Mineru. It impresses Steiya that Kaoshi stepped up for her, but she does the exact opposite of thanking him. Steiya kicks Kaoshi hard in the back. What kind of degradation does Kaoshi even have? Mineru and Frey ponder that maybe this is how middle schoolers show affection these days. Steiya realizes that she did that thing again, where she did the exact opposite of what she felt like. Mineru and Frey notice that Steiya most definitely likes Kaoshi. Mineru turns to Athena and says that she has quite an opponent on her hand. Frey adds that Athena can't let a childhood character beat her. Athena blushes and says that she does not feel like that for Kaoshi, and she further says that she is his made-up older sister. Then, Mineru says that the older sister character still holds the chance. Hearing the term older sister, Kiria rushes outside with Serene on her back, saying she is the most suitable candidate to be Kaoshi's older sister. Athena gets furious that she won't stand such an insult, and it looks like a challenge is on between Athena and Kiria. Suddenly, Steiya yells that it is enough of an argument. Only she will be deciding whether Kaushi gets to stay in the dorm or not. Staya will be the only judge of it. Now Staya walks into Kaushi's room and she doesn't feel anything suspicious going on there. Athena walks behind the room and covers it up by saying she was just admiring how clean the room looks. Thanking her, Kaushi says it is clean because he doesn't really have a lot of stuff to keep. But Athena says that it is also because he does a great job and keeps the dorm really clean. Not only that, but Kaushi's cooking is always on point too. Seeing Athena and Kaushi talking, someone's ass gets burned up. Yep, it is Staya whose caution scales rise because of the jealousy she feels. Kaushi turns to Staya, asking if it is really necessary to check every room in the dorm. Bossing around, Staya says that she is giving Kaushi a chance to redeem himself, so instead he should be grateful. Damn, a middle schooler is more of a mommy than actual mommies. But Mineru and Frey look super excited to show their rooms to Staya, starting with Mineru's room, which Kaushi seems concerned about since it just had a toxic gas leak a while ago. He is not sure that it is even safe to go in there, but Mineru says it will be fine. But as she opens her room, the room is still filled with toxic fumes. Mineru says that it looks like they still can't go inside as Kaushi slams the door. Turning to Staya, Kaushi says Mineru is a researcher, and usually all her experiments fail. Staya gets reminded of the rumor she heard in the school regarding Minoru as the toxic lady of Seiken Women's University. But Frey jumps to the conclusion that next it is her turn to show her room to Staya. Frey takes Staya to her room, saying that she is a cosplayer and makes outfits, so basically her room has become a closet itself. With Frey's latest creation in her hand, Frey shows it to everyone. Frey thinks this outfit would look perfect on Staya and jumps on Staya to make her wear it forcefully. Being a guardian angel, Athena hits Frey on the head to leave Staya alone. Next up, it is Athena's turn to show her room. Athena's room looks well cleaned and sparkly, and Staya says finally there is something that looks normal. Since Kaushi is there with them too, he says it is the first time he has seen Athena's room. The room looks pretty nice and smells great too. But oops, Staya gets jealous again of Athena. Confused, Athena wonders what she has done to make Staya angry. Now comes the next opponent, Kiria, who boasts that it is her time to shine as a big older sister. Embarrassed and scared enough, Kaushi knows that it is a contradiction, which they call a contradiction. But still, Kiria takes Staya, along with Athena and Kaushi, to her room. Entering Kiria's room, she says that she was raised by a family that teaches martial arts and owns a studio, but despite being raised masculine, Kiria loves to read shoujo manga. Staya was actually pretty impressed by the older sister's skills Kiria had, and Staya immediately let her guard down. Then, Kiria says that Staya should give the manga she has in her hands a try, but as soon as she opens it, Kiria gets embarrassed. Staya begins thinking that this dorm is really dangerous for Kaushi to live in, but Serene comes and puts a rice cracker in Staya's mouth. Recommending it to Staya, Serene says that the flavor of this will make Staya forget all the troubles she had. But she is coming in for another trouble because Serene checks that the rice crackers are past the expiration date. Staya's anger peaks all the scales, and she angrily says that she will burn this dorm down, with Kaushi trying his best to calm her down somehow. As the night falls, they all gather around the dinner table. Mineru says that they should be given another chance to present themselves. For that, they have decided that Mineru will spend the night at the dorm. Everyone was under the same roof, and Frey was hyping up her best friend. Athena agrees too, anything for the childhood friend of Kaushi. Let's see if this girl has the same luck as Kaushi. But Mineru and Frey wonder whose room Staya should sleep in. Staya herself points out that she wants to sleep in Athena's room. It looks like Staya does not really trust Athena, which is why she decided to sleep in Athena's room. Later, in Athena's room, Athena sets up a mattress for Staya. She spots Staya glaring at her with her side eye. But Athena knows that this is her chance to make this sleepover fun. She crawls towards Staya, asking if she is Kaushi's childhood friend and what he was like when he was younger. Athena adds that she is sure Kaushi was kind, responsible, and reliable like he is now. But Staya looks frowning and says, why is she asking Staya when Staya was the one who was unaware of Kaushi's situation? But now he is working for a bunch of strangers at a dorm as their dorm mother. Then Staya asks about Athena's relationship with Kaushi, and Athena finds herself really confused. Now, to finally relax himself from the hectic situation, Kaushi sits in the shower, wondering if Athena and Staya are bonding. His head starts to feel dizzy, so Kaushi gets out of the shower with his flat butt cheeks showing. There Athena asks Staya what she means by her question. Suddenly, they both hear a loud thud, as if someone fell. Staya and Athena ran downstairs to see what happened. Well, a tree of an eye is waiting for them as they see Kaushi and Kiria fall down the shower, and now Kaushi is sitting on Kiria. Seeing this sight, Staya gets so angry, and Athena's nose bleeds. Staya yells that she will destroy this dorm. Like I destroy your mom's walking skills. Both of them rage out of anger. After dressing up, Kaushi and Kiria sit together. They begin apologizing for the way they fell down on Staya and Athena. Athena questions how this even happened, to which Kaushi says he got dizzy after the shower. Staya taunts him if he mounts on every woman he sees when dizzy. Questioning Kiria, Athena asks why she was in the bath when she had already taken a bath with the girls earlier. Kiria replied that she got sweaty after some training and decided to take a bath before bed. That is when she accidentally walked in on Kaushi. Staya, being really pissed, says, "Not much like walked in on, but more like docked in on." But then Kaushi gets up and apologizes to Kiria for the accident. He should have been more attentive. Kiria apologizes too, saying that she should have known that Kiria was already in the shower. Further on, she adds that Kiria doesn't mind being seen naked, so he doesn't have to worry. Getting weirded out, Kaushi says she should be worried about it. Kiria replies that he is like her younger brother, so why would she even mind? Staya taunts Kiria if all her younger brothers mount on her. Kiria gets embarrassed as hell, and Athena says now she minds it and did not before, losing her craps. Staya says Kiria acts so grown up, but she needs to tell now which one is it. Kiria is completely confused as to what Staya even means, but before even having her answer, Staya runs off, saying it is all unfair. A few days later, the girls are having breakfast in the morning. Athena and Kiria eat their breakfast and excuse themselves, but they seem pretty off. Frey notices that and asks Kaushi about what happened, but Kaushi tries to brush it off nervously, saying it has been like that since the day Staya came. Frey asks if Kaushi did something to upset them. He stutters, thinking about what happened, and Frey says she is sure that he did something. Around 8:30, Kaushi realizes that Athena and Kiria left their lunch at home, and they tell Kaushi that they won't be getting their allowance until tomorrow. So Kaushi obviously does not want them to starve and beg for food. Frey and Kaushi check their schedules, and Athena attends her Saturday classes while Kiria is in her club meeting. They might pass out if they skip lunch. Kaushi wonders what they should do, and Frey gives the obvious answer. He has to bring them the lunches, but Kaushi is confused that it is literally a women's college. Smiling and excited, Frey says to leave that part to her. Oh, we all know what cosplays are coming ahead for our protagonist. Well, as expected, Frey dresses up Kaushi like a girl, like a pretty blonde girl with a red jacket and red skirt, looking prettier than most girls on my dad's side of the family. Kaushi sneaks in, and the guard stops him if the girl is here for a college tour. But instead of answering, Kaushi runs inside because he is scared that he would get caught. The college girls look at him and wonder who that pretty girl with pink pants is. Of course, Frey made him wear pants to complete the look. Some girls approach him, thinking Kaushi is a girl and asking if he needs a college tour, because he does look like someone's younger sister. But out of nervousness, Kaushi speaks in his manly voice, and the girls realize he is a boy. Kaushi makes a run and keeps running until he bumps into more girls. Reaching their hands to Kaushi for help, they ask if he needs help, and he again, in his manly voice, says sorry for the bump. Some more girls realize he is a boy. Now our poor little Kaushi is surrounded by girls, but thank goodness, Athena spots him and wonders what the heck Kaushi is doing here. The girls take him in their arms, making Athena jealous, and she pulls Kaushi near him, saying that is just her little sister and not a boy. Making the perfect landing, Kaushi is now in Athena's hooters. But the situation is different. This time, and surprisingly, Athena doesn't have a nosebleed. Probably because Kaushi is dressed like a girl. After being saved, Athena asks why Kaushi is sneaking into a women's college. Kaushi hands over the lunch he packed for Athena, and she is touched. Kaushi came all this way to give her lunch. Kaushi says that he packed for Kiria too, so she doesn't have to be hungry. But Kaushi says he has done more damage than good. He gets cut off by Athena, who says that, being his older sister, she will protect him. Kaushi is still worried about Athena getting a nosebleed, but Athena teases him that right now he is just a younger sister. Now Kaushi has to give lunch to Kiria, and Athena says she will take Kaushi to her. Kiria is carrying a bucket of water, and she spots two humans approaching her at high speed, which turns out to be Athena and Kaushi. Athena bumps into Kiria, and the bucket spills on both of them. Kiria is surprised to see Kaushi in a women's college, and why did he even sneak in here? Inside Kiria's department, Kiria lends Athena her shirt to get changed. Athena apologizes for bumping into her. Since Athena has to change, Kaushi suggests that he step out of the room. What a fool he is to lose such a chance. But Kaushi hears the girls have followed him to Kiria's department. They say all sorts of stuff, like he is adorable, and they would completely spoil him. Athena says that since she promised to protect Kaushi, she will do so. So Athena changes right in front of him. So does Kiria, since Kaushi is the little sister today. But still, Athena asks him to turn the other way. Kaushi blushes and turns around. Athena notices her pants are soaking wet. Kiria helps her get dry so Athena doesn't catch a cold. Drying her up, Kiria rubs the towel on her back, which makes Athena feel tickly, and she says she would do it by herself. But Kiria says that Athena's skin feels soft as silk, so she insists on drying it. Oh boy, it looks like someone's tissue roll ended. After getting dried up, Athena tries to fit in Kiria's clothes, but they seem really tight. Well, the clothes are so tight that, I am sure, the shirt button feels absolutely proud of itself for holding the massive hooters together. Kiria thought that a button-up shirt would fit Athena well, but I feel miserable for the button. Not being able to hold on much longer, the button breaks and hits Kaushi's face, and he falls back. Athena's melons are out of the shirt and free. Out of concern, Athena bends down to see if Kaushi is okay. Oops, she forgot about her condition and gets nervous as Kaushi sees her not unnoticeable honkers. That leads to another thing again. Athena's nose bleeds as soon as she realizes that Kaushi is actually a guy and not her little sister. Later on, they get home. Kiria helps Athena with her nosebleeds, and Athena looks so fed up with her own nosebleeds. Serene hands over a rice cracker to Athena, and she thanks Serene. Kaushi tells Serene that, at some point, she will get tired of them. Minoru and Frey come downstairs and ask what is wrong with Kiria and Athena's behavior. They seem off since Sutia left. Getting really nervous, Athena brushes it off, saying that she has a lot on her mind lately. As a matter of fact, she wants everyone to go on a vacation. She even invites Sutia if she is not busy to join her. With that, Athena pulls out some vacation banners from her bag and puts them on the table, and all the girls look at her absolutely confused. Since Athena has dropped an idea like a bomb on all the girls to go on a vacation, everyone except Serene agrees to it. In fact, Serene ran upstairs to her room. Everyone is puzzled as to why she ran upstairs. Athena worriedly says that if something she said was not right, that made her run upstairs. Kaushi assures Athena that the idea is absolutely wonderful, but turns quickly to go upstairs. Before that, Minoru holds Kaushi's shoulder and wishes him good luck. Visible confusion is seen on Kaushi's face as to why would Minoru say that. Standing in front of Serene's room, Kaushi wonders what to say to her. Thinking of it, he has actually never been in Serene's room before. Kaushi wonders what surprise will be in it for him, as the other rooms were devastatingly surprising to him. Minoru's room being filled toxic fumes, and Frey's room filled with cosplays she forces others to wear. Dude doesn't realize how lucky he is, surrounded by hot Oni-chans. Getting his crap together that it will be alright, Kaushi enters Serene's room and tells her that he is coming inside. But as soon as Kaushi looks in Serene's room, it is literally just filled with bags, looking like garbage bags. Piles and piles of nothing but bags. Nonetheless, he enters the room wondering where she is, but as Kaushi steps on something, suddenly Serene falls on him. Yes, you guessed it right. Kaushi's face is right in front of Serene's kitty. Serene says that her sleeping space has collapsed, which was the top of a bookshelf. Kaushi asks why she has so much trash in her room. Serene says that this is not trash, but the stuff that has been cultivated by absorbing the power that emanates from the moon. It all serves the purpose of implementing lunar technology. Totally, I would listen to her to get laid. Even Kaushi doesn't get it. But Kaushi does remember something by the term lunar. He gets taken back to the night he slept in Kiria's room. He asks Serene if she visited Kaushi the night he slept in Kiria's room. Serene agrees to it, and also admits that she kissed Kaushi. Kaushi realizes that it was not a dream the way Serene accepted the truth. Then Serene asks if he is there to convince her for the vacation, and Kaushi says yes, he is. She explains that Serene is not against the vacation, but her activities are limited to the dorm and college campus. Since she has not stepped a foot out of that area, Serene had been feeling a sense of unease. Kaoshi is shocked when she explains that the moon's power abounds in this vicinity, and it brings peace of mind. It is confirmed that Serene is not against the vacation, but what worries her is if she can find the moon. Later, the girls and Kaoshi have to find a solution for Serene's problem. Minoru suggests finding potential segments and giving them to Serene as gifts that remind her of the moon. In other words, they will be creating a portable safe zone for her that Serene could carry around on the trip. Athena is confused as to what items they should be looking for. Koshi points out something that creates an illusion for her of the moon, so Serene could come along on the trip. Turning to Kaoshi, Minoru says that Serene is the only one who has stayed for the longest at the dorm. The mystery remains, but what more important is that they have to find a way for Serene to come to the trip. Anyway, for the time being, the girls focus on finding the objects that remind them of the moon, something that could help Serene on the trip. The next day, Kaoshi, on his way to school, wonders about what to get when he spots Sutia walking like her insides got drilled. He approaches her and notices that she is getting heated up because of the summer and feels dizzy because of her medical condition. So Kaoshi takes out the ice packs and puts them on her face, so Sutia feels better and colder. Kaoshi says, let's talk when they reach the school in a chilly environment. He tells Sutia about the vacation, and Athena wants Sutia to come with them too. Sutia agrees to it at once without even giving it a second thought. As Kaoshi is getting happy about Sutia coming with them, she says that Sutia will be there to keep an eye on him, and she won't be seeing any bad behavior. With that, Sutia attacks him with her ponytails, as if she were some Medusa. Being Serene's servant, Serene senses that Kaoshi is being attacked. But Frey interrupts her thoughts and brings Serene something that could remind her of the moon, a costume from Sailor Moon. Not just that it would help her, but she will also be looking fabulous in the outfit. But Serene says that she would break the law if she wore cosplay, since it would be unauthorized donning. Frey frowns and sits on the floor because she knows it is true, and her plan fails. Walking out of Serene's room, Minoru tells her that she made a potion that speeds up the aging process. With Minoru's patented moonlighting sake, they will lure Serene out of there in no time. Once Serene gets a whiff of the potion, she won't have the power to resist. But it looks like Frey has whiffed it, and it instead worked on her, and the bottle dropped from Minoru's hand, and another plan failed. After school is off, Kaoshi gets back home and spots Kiria and Serene doing something outside the dorm. Kiria welcomes him back home, and Koshi asks Kiria about it, and she explains that it is Tai Chi they are practicing. It is a Chinese martial art that incorporates the concept of Taiji, which relates to the vastness of the universe, so maybe the practice of Tai Chi would help Serene. But before Kiria even completes her statement, Serene falls to the ground and collapses, reminding them that her connection is only with the moon and that the power of the universe is too much for her to handle. Kiria apologizes, and Serene says that she is just inexperienced. There, Frey and Minoru step outside the dorm in Sailor Moon cosplays. That is when Athena comes back to the dorm too. Athena forwards her hand with an umbrella in it as her representation of the segment of the moon. As Serene opens it up, the umbrella has the prints of the sky and the moon. Serene agrees that this works and that the vacation is on. Athena excitedly tells them that she has booked the trendiest hotel for them, and everyone seems so excited for the trip. As the night falls, the girls get fed dinner by Kaoshi as usual, and they all thank him for it. As Serene is going back to her room upstairs after the dinner, Kaoshi gives her the jacket he washed for her in the laundry. Not just that, he fixed the holes Kaoshi saw in the jacket. Kaoshi adds that maybe it doesn't remind her of the moon, but as long as it comes to comfort, Serene is always wearing it. Serene thanks him for it, as the frayed stitches were making her uneasy. As Serene goes upstairs, Kaoshi wonders if Serene is really mysterious. Later, when Kaoshi is asleep in his room, Serene visits his room. She was impressed by him as Kaoshi mended the holes in Serene's jacket for her. Serene judged him right after all. She leans down to kiss him again while Kaoshi sleeps. All the women of this dorm never fail to surprise us. As Kaoshi opens his eyes, he finds himself falling asleep on the way to their trip. He wakes up beside Sutia. Meanwhile, Minoru is driving the car, and she says that they will be arriving at the inn soon. The girls seem super excited as they see the beach and the mountain far ahead. Reaching the inn, they all look at it with shock, their mouths open. The inn looks absolutely creepy and nothing like what Athena booked. Athena says that she is sure that she booked the trendiest destination for the summer vacation, a hot and classy seaside hotel called the Suzy Inn. Well, it is Suze, but Suze Manor. Realizing it, Athena exclaims that she must have booked the wrong one since all the names were pretty similar to each other. As Athena is panicking, a suspicious-looking lady comes outside, welcomes the girls and Kaushi, and says that she had been expecting them. Minoru awkwardly thanks her for having them as everyone stands behind her. After a while, they all change into some comfy robes, but Athena still looks down about the mess she made, so she sits in a corner with Serene putting mushrooms in her hair. They all look at a certain place where the bridge leads. It looks like an energy hotspot, but Minoru senses something a bit off about the place. Frey adds that it sure does look kind of haunted. Hearing the term haunted, Kiria gets scared. Minoru further adds that she got the same vibe from the inn too, and they also have an abandoned annex, which could mean it is haunted. Kiria's face turns pale blue, and Frey teases her as she is scared from behind, and Kiria jumps into Kaushi's arms. Kaushi asks her if she is okay, but he is about to be un-okay because Suvia saw Kiria in Kaushi's arms. Out of anger, she looks like Medusa and runs after Kaushi and Kiria, attacking them with her ponytails. Later at night, they all sit in a super cozy bath, thinking that the entire place might have a creepy vibe. But these baths are to die for. I would die to be in the same bath as them too. Even the view is super amazing, and finally, Athena seems to be enjoying it too. As Minoru and Frey are talking, they mention Kiria, and she shows up in some weird aloha outfit. Frey asks if Kiria is afraid of ghosts and paranormal activity, and she stutters that she is not. With that, Frey says that she would want to see a ghost once, but Miss Scary Pants thinks it is okay not to see a ghost even once. Then Minoru approaches Athena about what made her think of taking a vacation, because she is the last person Minoru thought of to organize a trip. Athena says that she just wanted to spend some good time with the girls and make up with Sutia after her last visit to the dorm, as Athena also wanted to prove that she would be the best older sister Kaushi has who could actually look after him. On the other hand, Kaushi is sitting in the men's bath all alone when Minoru disturbs his peace and asks how the bath is. Kaushi says it feels soothing and relaxing, but asks what Minoru is doing peeping in the men's bath. Being the carefree girl she is, Minoru says she is just peeping. Since it is open air, of course there is going to be some peeping. As Minoru is about to stand up, Kaushi is trembling to see Minoru naked, but she is wrapped in a towel. She suggests to Kaushi that they all should sleep in the same room so he doesn't feel lonely, and oh boy, her towel fell. But someone came prepared with Fuki Mamoru-kun and hid Minoru's bosoms. Well, Frey drops Athena's towel and it falls, but this time, Kaushi's nose bleeds out of embarrassment seeing bare women. Finally, someone else took after the role of Athena's nosebleeds. Later at night, even if Kaushi said no, he was forced to sleep together with the girls. More like, everyone slept in his room so he doesn't feel alone. The room surely looks like some exhibit for hooters and kitties. Kaushi is unable to sleep like that and feels kind of uncomfortable and shy, but then he sees someone running out of the room, and it is Athena who goes outside. Kaushi wonders why she went. Either she needed to use the restroom or she probably had another nosebleed because she slept in the same room as him. The trail of his thoughts is cut off as Frey takes him into her arms, calling him a little body pillow. Somehow, Kaushi is able to escape her arms and gets out of the room, wondering what is taking Athena so long. Even Minoru wakes up with a torch on her face, making her look like a ghost. Minoru says she started to get worried for Athena too, so she came outside too. It could be that Athena got caught up in some paranormal activity. Since Minoru's summer assignment is Suspension Bridge Effect, where people experience fear and mistake it for falling in love, elaborated by Kaushi. They begin looking for Athena everywhere, but she is nowhere to be found. The only area they have not checked yet is the abandoned annex. It has a warning sign to not go there but to find Athena, Minoru and Koshi still making their way there. They find the annex incredibly bigger than they imagined, and it is completely dark. Kaushi feels like the annex is just getting bigger and bigger. Scientifically, Minoru says that it could be because of a gap in their visual stimuli and their perception of time and matter. Or is the place going through rapid physical expansion? As they stand there, Kaushi gets startled by some sculptures. Serene senses Kaushi being scared and wakes him up. Minoru holds Kaushi's hand so he doesn't feel scared. Although she herself feels scared, she, being the older sister of Kaushi, wants to keep him safe. Minoru makes him nervous by putting him against a wall. What an absolute money move. Kaushi gets all red, says he is going to wash his face, and dashes off. But in the middle of the hallway, Athena comes out of a room, and Koshi worriedly asks where she has been and where they are right now. Athena says they are in a gap between visual stimuli and their perception of time and space. Then, Athena asks if Koshi is all by himself, and he points to a place where he is with Minoru but spots some glow in the dark figure instead. Athena holds Koshi's hands, runs into a room with him, and closes the door, reassuring Koshi. Athena says it is going to be alright, but Koshi is more concerned about his nosebleeds. She says she is trying her best to resist them, so it would be nice if Koshi didn't remind Athena. But Athena is really close to Koshi. Athena apologizes for the start of their relationship, which was insanely weird. Then she asks Koshi, "What is Athena to Koshi?" He is confused, but Athena holds Koshi's hand and says that she will protect him on this trip. Leaning in towards Koshi's lips, Athena gets closer to him, but caught in action, Minoru switches on the lights in the room. Serene and Minoru stand outside while the pile of towels falls on Athena. Koshi realizes that it was not a ghost, but Serene. The next day, the girls and Koshi leave the inn. Frey and Kiria say that they missed out on the action due to being heavy sleepers. As Serene stands with her umbrella, Koshi goes to her to apologize for thinking of her as a ghost. But Serene brushes it off, saying that her manner was not well too. Anyone would think she is a ghost. Further, she adds that it became clear that a spatial distortion had developed inside the inn. Serene starts blabbering some more of the crap she is interested in, but along with Koshi, I am absolutely clueless too. But Koshi is glad that they were able to pull Serene out of the dorm, and she looks like she is enjoying herself. Sutia then approaches Athena, while Athena is drowning in her own thoughts, but they are all distracted by Minoru's voice. She says that Frey is not fully satisfied with the trip, so now today is the day they all go to the beach. At the beach, the girls are playing and enjoying themselves while the others get to enjoy the sights of them being bouncy too. While in some corner, Sutia looks at them, wondering how bouncy the girls' bodies are. She takes her too into the sea and wonders out of jealousy if Koshi likes that kind of stuff. I mean, who isn't into that kind of stuff? Sudia looks at Koshi, sees Koshi looking at the other girls instead of her, and wonders if she was not wrong. But it is pretty clear who Koshi is looking at through the lenses of the binoculars. Koshi is looking at all the girls, actually for their safety, so nothing happens to them. Since Koshi is not performing his dorm mother duties on a trip, he is serving them as a lifeguard out of a sense of security. Eye candy while doing a job sounds like a great idea. But Koshi can't take his eyes off of Athena at all, wonders what has gotten into him lately, and shakes his head off. Trying to brush his thoughts off, Koshi thinks that Athena is a dorm resident and like an older sister to him, so why does he feel like that? Still, he could not help but wonder what Athena feels about the situation. Does she feel the same, or does she look at him like a baby boy? Passing by with her mother, a little girl says that this boy is staring at a bunch of ladies, and the mother and kid judge Koshi for it. Koshi exclaims that it isn't what it looks like. From the sea, Sutia is looking at the entire thing happening in her too. She frowns at the fact that Koshi is not even paying attention to her. Thinking to herself, Sutia thinks that it obviously does make sense since his first crush was their preschool teacher. Man of the culture, he has always been into older women. Someone does show interest in the 12-year-old body of Sutia, and there are some fish gathering around her pants. The fish know where to go. She tries moving somewhere else by moving herself, but one of them manages to make its way inside her pants and starts moving like a finger. A fish found something men are always unable to locate. Out of panic, Sutia loses her too, and she begins to drown while the fish is moving its body against her. Koshi notices it and runs to save Sutia, leaping into the water. Kiria notices that Koshi is somehow trying to save Sutia, but is struggling. Somehow, Sutia is saved by Kiria as she grabs her hand, pulls her out of the water, and saves her from drowning. Kiria asks if Sutia has a leg cramp, but is happy to get rid of the fish. Koshi comes to Sutia and asks if she is okay now, and Sutia yells that it is none of his business. But Kiria whispers in Sutia's ear that it was Koshi who was worried for her and the first one to notice that she was in trouble. Further, she says as soon as Koshi saw Sutia, he leapt straight into the water. It comes as a surprise to Sutia that Koshi doesn't even know how to swim, yet he jumped in it for her. But then Koshi knew he could not save Sutia, so he begged Kiria to save Sutia. So if Sutia is alive right now, it is because of Koshi, Kiria says. Sutia realizes that Koshi was paying attention to her. After some time, the girls stop playing and lay down to get some rest and tan their bodies. Athena is surprised that Kaushi does not know how to swim, even though he knows how to do everything else. Dryly, Kaushi says it is on his to-do list and will be learning it soon. Kaushi is setting up an umbrella for Sutiya to sit under because of her condition. All the girls are impressed that despite not knowing how to swim, Kaushi still tried to save Sutiya. It sounds like a heroic move, which honestly sounds so cool to the girls, but Kushi said who actually saved her was Kiria. But Athena says that he was the one who noticed Sutiya, so it is the worry and thought that count. He made sure to keep her under the eye, Athena says. But Kaushi sounds a bit down, and he just says he is going to go and buy something cold to drink, completely ignoring that Athena was actually giving him a compliment for being such a great protector. As he begins walking away, Kaushi wonders what the heck is wrong with him and why he would take a compliment like that. Meanwhile, Sutiya feels really hot in the open sun, and Kiria from behind puts ice packs on Sutiya's face so she feels better. Kiria says that it was Kaushi who kept the ice packs, and he may have kept them in the freezer of the inn. It was so thoughtful of him, Kiria says, adding that they both are such great friends, and she is jealous. Sutiya says that they are not that close anymore, but Kiria asks about their childhood stories. But it is clear that Sutiya has something else on her mind. Sutiya says that she said some really terrible things to Kiria the day she stayed over at the dorm. But still, Kiria saves Sutiya's life, and she is still willing to talk to her. Sutiya thanks Kiria, and Kiria feels shy. Grabbing Sutiya, Kiria hugs her, and Sutiya says it feels hot. Mentioning heat, Minoru and Frey ask why Sutiya would keep her hair so long if the heat bothers her so much. Sutiya whispers in Kiria's ear that it is because Kaushi's first crush had long locks, and he loved them. So now Sutiya wants to keep long hair for Kaushi to like her. Kiria tells them to Sutiya, as she is nervous to say it by herself, to which Frey hugs her, thinking about the cute gesture of Sutiya, but it makes Sutiya pass out of the heat. I have no idea what this woman would do when she feels the heat down there when she is grown up. Athena runs to get an ice cream cone, so Sutiya holds her senses back and feels better. On the other hand, Kaushi is returning with drinks in his hands, and he buys them from the farthest shop on the spot. Not knowing what he is doing, Kaushi stands still, looking down. Like most men, he doesn't know how to process his feelings, but this is also the first time he is feeling like that. But then he hears a voice that is forcing a girl to come and have some fun with the boys. The girl's voice being familiar, it turns out to be Athena. Athena is trying to dodge the boys, but she can't really hold her nose bleed for that long. One of the boys held her wrist, and she demanded to let it go, but they wouldn't leave her wrist, harassing her. Feeling miserable, Athena thought that maybe she finally got comfortable enough with men, but she was wrong about it. It was just Kaushi she was comfortable with. The protagonist, Kaushi, on his way to save Athena, goes up to the boys and makes them leave her wrist. Kaushi scolds the boys, asking why they are making a girl uncomfortable. The boys scoff and ask who he is to defend Athena. Realizing this, Athena knows that Kaushi will always be there to defend her. It is exactly like last time when he saved her. Athena says Kaushi is her younger brother, which leaves him wondering if Athena actually sees him this way. The rude boys say that Kaushi seriously needs to butt out and let her older sister have some fun with actual boys because Kaushi is not her boyfriend. Kaushi yells that he might not be her boyfriend, but he sure is Athena's dorm mother, and he will protect her no matter what. Throwing the drinks there, Kaushi grabs Athena's hand like a man, not a boy, and takes her out of the situation. But Kaushi soon realizes that he grabbed Athena's arm, and it could lead to another nosebleed out of nervousness. Athena says that it is okay. He is different to her than other guys, and she finds herself comfortable around Kaushi. Further, she says that she finds it difficult to interact with strange men like them, but feels completely alright when it is Kaushi. Almost like a family, Athena feels comfortable. Kaushi wonders what he is feeling for Athena, as it feels like a weight on his heart. Later on, the girls take a shower to clear off the sand stuck on their bodies. Like Yaljik's eyes stuck on the animated girls' bodies. Athena, while taking a shower, can't stop thinking about how she got defended by Kaushi, whereas she should have been the one to defend him, being his older sister. Turning off the shower, Athena gets surprised by Sutiya standing behind her. Sutiya says that she has had a bad attitude since the day she came to the dorm and feels bad about it. Yet Athena still invited Sutiya on the trip. Adding more to the conversation, Sutiya says that it was not Sutiya who helped Kaushi during the darkest of his times and gets sad over it. Athena says that it was Minoru and Frey who were so kind and helped Kaushi throughout the entire hardships Kaushi faced, hiring him as the dorm mother and sending him to school again. It was all Minoru and Frey who did that. Even Athena at first felt very frustrated, but then she opened up to him. Athena felt like she also had to do something for Kaushi, and a trip is what Athena came up with. Sutiya and Athena are a lot alike, Athena says while smiling. On their way back, as they are walking, Sutiya thinks that she was maybe just overthinking about it. She thought Athena had feelings for Kaushi. Now it is clear that Sutiya was just being an overthinker. While Kaushi looks absolutely down and keeps weirdly quiet, Kaushi looks over at the water of the sea and the sun setting. He does not know how to process it. Back at the dorm, Frey hugs Kaushi and puts his head on her soft pillow like a hooter. The dream of every man. Kaushi exclaims to not say his name so weirdly, but Frey is focused on the boiling pot. Serving the breakfast, Kiryu chomps it down and tells Kaushi that what he made is amazing and delicious. But Kaushi seems to be lost in his own world and ignores it. Kiryu says it again, to which he softly says thanks. Athena brings her the dishes and offers to help, but Kaushi coldly says that it is a part of his job and he will do it on his own. Frey and Minoru ponder that Kaushi is weird these days since they got back from the trip. As if something is keeping him from expressing himself. He seems really distracted by something, says Minoru, thinking about the situation. Frey wonders what would have happened, to which Minoru says he would never even tell them. Well, Frey always comes up with a plan. Cleaning the table, Kaushi looks really distracted. Then Kaushi looks at the pictures of the trip of all of them together, but he can just focus on Athena's picture. Frey shows up like a cat on the stairs and says she would like to take Kaushi somewhere, and he agrees to it. Squeezing Kaushi's arm in her squeezies, Frey takes her to a cosplay studio, because according to Frey, there is no other way to express thoughts other than while cosplaying. Whatever mommy says, I agree with it. A man attends them at the counter, and he recognizes Frey. Kindly, Frey asks if there is a slot open, to which the man says that they have it all to themselves. The opportunity is perfect since the entire studio is empty right now. Frey says that she has a cosplay that she wants to try out with Kaushi. Kaushi acts surprised, but Frey says he is not new to any of it since he has cosplayed before. Forcefully is silent. A cat boy, a doll, and a younger sister. Frey says she has worked so hard on their outfits to go cosplay in such a pretty place where the man takes them. As they change, Frey asks if Kaushi can change it easily, but Kaushi says he can't identify between the ears and the tail. The man says that Frey could go help Kaushi out, which is against the rules, but it does need help, so he lets her. Frey sits down, helping him change in such a seductive way. Kaushi turns red and embarrassed and throws Frey out again. After they change, Frey and Kaushi look absolutely fabulous in their cosplays. Kaushi asks where these outfits are actually from, and Frey explains they are from an anime, and the story behind is something Kaushi did not expect to hear. Kaushi's character is that of the younger brother, but he likes his older sister. Of course, incest is a thing. Whereas Frey is the older sister who looks at the younger brother as family and not a love interest. Hearing it, Kaushi looks defeated, and Frey asks the reason behind it in order to get it out of him. He covers it up by saying he is perfectly okay. Now the photo shoot begins, but Frey looks a bit too serious. But instead of attacks, Frey will throw a bunch of questions at Kaushi. It was more like a rapid-fire session. Firstly, Frey asks what happened on the trip that made him weirdly silent, and Kaushi says nothing important. Frey gets rageous and approaches Kaushi with her sword, saying she should not hold back. Kaushi says he observes something weird about Frey, but she says it is the nature of cosplay, and they can say anything they want over here. Soon Kaushi realizes she will get the secrets out of Kaushi. Now she asks him again about the trip and reminds him that Kaushi is like family to her. It was Athena who said it. Kaushi sadly says that it should have made him happy, but why did it make him feel sad? Frey blows him with a kick, and he falls down the bridge, trying to save himself from falling. Kaushi says that he wants Athena to look at him as a man rather than a family member. Frey jumps down too as Kaushi gets up. It is enough of him sweeping his feelings under the rug and expecting that no one notices them. Kaushi says that he should not feel that way being the dorm mother. He wants to put the entire thing behind him as he feels like Kaushi is betraying everyone. Frey says he is not the first man to say that any decent guy would have done that. Has Kaushi even realized that his behavior has made people perceive him as the other gender, no matter what? Kaushi sits on his knees, feeling defeated that he has finally found a home. But he acted like nothing happened because he did not want to leave everything behind and lose it. Frey sits down, apologizes that she pushed him a little too hard, and hugs him. But she is glad that he talked to her about it, or more like, squeezed it out of him. Frey tells him that, by nature, Frey used to be a blunt and outspoken kind of person. It led to various mistakes in her life, and Frey should not have barged into Kaushi's personal feelings like that. But now, since she has grown from it, Frey understands that he does not want to lose the relationships he built because of the weight of his feelings for Athena. That was some therapy I witnessed. Frey hugging Kaushi actually looks like the family Kaushi needed, a big older sister. When Frey and Kaushi leave the studio, Kaushi stops Frey to say something before they go back to the dormitory. He says that he might not be brave enough as Frey, but he is ready to talk about his feelings and face the consequences and man up. Even if Athena says she wants to protect him as family or as a younger brother. Still, Kaushi wants to be her protector as a man, as a dorm mother, or as a family. Not sure which side to pick, he smiles. Frey smiles back at him and says to him that they should go home now. The goddess dormitory, home to them. It is the 45th Seekin Festival, and I am pretty sure this is about to be fun. There are various stalls installed in the university, like cotton candy, bubble tea, etc. Entering the festival, Kaushi and Sutia are amazed at how big the festival is. Sutia thinks it looks too stuffy, as there are too many people here. Like there are too many people in your girlfriend's Victoria's Secret. Spotting these two, Frey comes running to them, bouncing her entire body in a small and too tight cosplay. Looking at the outfit, Kaushi could not help his manly side taking over and passing a comment on her outfit. He asks what that outfit is, and Frey replies that it is Anna Miller. Sutia asks about the band on her arm, and Frey says that since she is supplying other departments with costumes, it represents them. Kaushi asks if Frey is on the festival's executive committee, to which Frey says yes, she is. Benefiting from it, she knows where to find the best stuff. Frey says that she is going to give them a grand tour. As Kaushi is thanking Frey, she hugs Sutia, not giving a damn about her condition. Well, Kaushi, on the other hand, looks around and assures himself that hopefully no one remembers him in his petite girl outfit. As their first step on the grand tour, Frey takes Kaushi and Sutia to a shady stall that is far away from everything. The name of it is Apothecary Amazement. Definitely not listed on the stalls of the festivals. Frey drags them inside. As they enter it, they are welcomed by Minoru to purchase elixirs with a wide range of effects that cannot be procured anywhere else. Kaushi asks what even Minoru is doing. Sweetly, Minoru explains that she is selling her homemade remedies to earn a little bit of extra money. Sutia asks if these things are even safe, to which Minoru says nobody knows, but they should give it a try, Minoru says. She points at one and says that whoever drinks it gets uncontrollably horny. That remedy is already naturally present in my body. Pointing at another one, Minoru says that whoever takes it will get down on their knees. But Kaushi asks if she is allowed to sell this stuff within the school premises. Minoru says absolutely not, and as she says it, an executive committee member finds Minoru's stand. She yells that they will be immediately taken action against, but Minoru in a second picks up all her creations, dumps them in Kaushi's bags, and runs. Next up, Frey takes them to a presentation Serene's presenting, which is just about to start. Kaushi wonders whether it is a play or just a presentation, to which Frey says to find it out by himself. Well, it is a paranormal research society that is hunting down Serene because they think Serene is an unidentified creature. They have gathered the product of their club activities and some classified information. Kaushi and Sutia are surprised to hear about Serene. The topic of their investigation is the cryptids, who are familiar to the public as well, saying that Serene has been enrolled in the university for many years now. Not being able to believe it, Sutia and Kaushi think about why they are researching Serene. Exaggerating it more, the club says that Serene is an urban legend that is rarely seen on campus. With that, some weird nerd runs in, saying that someone saw Serene near a refreshment stand. The members of the club run outside to catch Serene. Kaushi, Frey, and Sutia are terrified that they are running to capture Serene and that they might dissect her and put her on display. To save Serene, the three of them run outside to rescue her. As they step outside, something else is going on at the festival. All the women are kissing and praising each other. The environment is covered in pink mist, smelling pretty sickly too. The Weird Club researchers wonder if this pink mist could be the work of Serene. But Kaushi wonders if this seems like a stretch. As he tries to move forward, a bottle clatters in his feet, which is one of Minoru's elixirs, which probably caused the mess. He gets caught up by a researcher who says she has met Kaushi before, to which he says, hiding himself, that she got the wrong guy. Well, Frey puts a wig on him, and obviously he gets recognized immediately. Kaushi yells, why did she even bring the wig with her to the festival? Frey says that she carried it in case of an emergency, but Kaushi cries about why she pulled it out right now. It looks like the elixir worked on Frey as well, as she says that the girl version of Kaushi is absolutely adorable. Kaushi realizes that Frey is under the effects of the elixir. Meanwhile, all the girls start to approach Kaushi, thinking he is so feminine and soft. They all attack him and want a piece of him, but angrily, Sutiya says to leave Kaushi alone. The poor girl did not know that she was the absolute loli and that she was up to be the next victim. The entire college girls attack Sutiya next, and as Kaushi wants to save her, he gets caught by the researcher lady who takes his shorts off and looks like someone's about to be pegged. Kaushi and Sutiya yell to be helped, and Serene makes her heroic entrance, wearing sunglasses to save them. She tells all the lasers to focus on her, and she makes a laser attack to settle stuff down. Suddenly, everyone gets back to their senses and wonders what they were even doing a while ago. This scene ended too soon, unfortunately. Kaushi removes his wig, looks the other way, and sees Serene has fallen to the ground out of weakness. As he lifts Serene up, she says applying lunar technology to a large number of humans has created a power shortage in her. Kaushi wonders if she can use her mysterious powers to calm them down and end the effect of the mist. Later on, Kaushi takes Serene inside the university for her to regain her energy. He thanks her for coming to the rescue, as she saved him from getting his butt cheeks sore. Since Frey and Sutiya are finding something for Serene to eat, Kaushi sits near Serene, near the bed on the chair. But Serene says that food is just a temporary solution for her energy. As weird as she is, Serene says that physical contact between the master and the servant is a better solution and source of consumption. Kaushi is baffled as to what she means, so she turns to him and says the best way to make physical contact is with a kiss. Kaushi screams out of realization that he knew it wasn't a dream he saw the other night. How is he supposed to act normal around her now? Sassy man, the apocalypse has gotten to the girls. Serene says that he does not need to be upset. She has more servants for her than him in the dormitory. However, since just Kaushi is there, he will be the one fulfilling the needs of Serene. As she leans in to kiss Kaushi, he stops her. In his mind, Athena pops up, and Kaushi's seat falls back as he is trying to dodge Serene's kiss. Like some angels, Sutiya and Frey show up with some food, and Frey gets a caramelized lollipop in a spiral shape, resembling the Milky Way galaxy. Serene loves it and quickly grabs and chomps it down, saying the shape is lovely. Next up, Frey takes them to Athena's cafe, and they have to be quick with it because Curia's event will start in a bit. Kaushi is amazed that a cafe would be run by Athena, a big step to fight her nervousness. There, Athena is changing into a maid outfit, which suits her so well. She got asked for help just at the last minute, but she has no problem with it. The only problem is men. She assures herself that it is a good chance to practice not being nervous in front of them. But as she steps out, Athena spots quite a few men, making her feel so awkward already. At the same time, Kaushi, Frey, and Sutiya show up at the cafe. Athena holds her nose so it doesn't bleed and welcomes them to the cafe awkwardly. It looks like Athena survived barely. Sitting down on the table, Kaushi says it looks professional, the entire arrangement of the cafe. But Sutiya has her eyes on the maid outfit, and she badly wants to try it. Athena shows up from behind, bringing the food and thanking Kaushi, calling him a master. Being clumsy, Athena's foot slips and she trips. But to her good luck, Sutiya catches the tray and nothing falls. Also to Kaushi's good luck, Athena falls on Kaushi, and his face gets squeezed up in her squeezies. She apologizes to him, calling Kaushi again a master. Kaushi gets up feeling nervous and takes the blame on himself. But Sutiya was more concerned about the maid outfit, and she is glad the outfit was saved. As Athena starts serving the other men in the cafe, they find her absolutely adorable and ask if she would be willing to hang out later on. Getting nervous, Athena holds her nose. To her defense, Kaushi gets up to save her, but Frey stops him to let Athena handle it on her own. To his surprise, Athena does handle it professionally and politely rejects the offer from the men. Then Frey says that going to the beach for the first time must have been tough for Athena. But now Athena is making a conscious effort to interact with men. Frey adds that keeping an eye on someone from afar is another way of protecting them. Athena is making a change to herself for a certain someone, to which Kaushi blushes. In the back room of the cafe, Athena feels proud of herself and the effort she has made. For the first time, she interacted with men. She says to her maid partner that Athena is trying to get comfortable around men other than Kaushi. The partner asks if the kid outside is Kaushi and says he is a cute little boyfriend of Athena. To which Athena gets extremely nervous, saying that he is like a little brother to her, like a family. She says she is trying to be a good older sister to him, and the partner suggests that Athena should spend more time with Kaushi. Going around and walking together sounds like a perfect idea. But Athena wonders about being short-staffed. Frey appears like a ghost from behind to leave it on her. With that, she pulls Sutia to be the maid, who looks like a natural to be the maid. Sutia nervously says that it is not like that. She wanted to try the maid outfit or anything like that. Of course, she wanted to cover it up. Then Kaushi comes to the back room looking for Frey, and Frey pushes Athena toward him and says to have a nice break. Kaushi and Athena go on a walk then, where she mentions that she forgot to change her maid outfit. Kaushi says many people are wearing different outfits, so she doesn't need to worry. Other than that, it looks really good on her too, which Kaushi compliments her on. Then they reach Kiria's event, which is a cross-dressing contest. The host introduces the finalists of the contest, which are 3 handsome men. The judge for them will be Kiria. Kiria alone looks hotter than the men, and the girls scream and hoot her name. Kaushi realizes how cool Kiria looks and how popular she is with the crowd. Even Athena is hypnotized by Kiria's looks. Kaushi starts feeling hot because of the crowd, so he opens his bag and attempts to drink his tea. What he forgot about is that Minoru dumped her elixirs in his bag too. He ends up drinking the unmasking elixir and realizes that after drinking the entire thing, sounding worried, Kaushi wonders about what is about to happen to him as a result of the elixir. Later on, after the event, Kiria thanks Athena and Kaushi for coming and supporting her. Athena says that Kiria is extremely cool and that made her a fan of Kiria. Making Athena nervous, Kiria says Athena is pretty cute too. Seeing Kaushi weirdly quiet, Kiria asks what the matter is, to which Kaushi covers his mouth, saying it is nothing, which reminds Kiria that she got 3 tickets for the maze contest as her winning. Kiria says that the 3 of them should go to the maze contest. Not having control over his emotions, Kaushi yells that he wants to go too. Soon he realizes the effect of the elixir and tries to stop himself. Kiria and Athena laugh at him, asking if he likes that kind of stuff. Kiria adds that her younger brother was a big fan of maze games too, as much as Kaushi looks right now. The 3 of them go to the maze, where Kaushi wishes that he doesn't do anything weird. They hand over the tickets to the girl outside the maze, who tells them whoever wins will be given a special medal. Athena thinks that it is a great idea, and Kiria says it is a good idea for little kids. Kaushi screams out of excitement that he bets little kids would love this super mega awesome medal. With spirit, Kaushi says, "Let's win this game." As they enter the maze, Kiria and Kaushi scream because it is portrayed as a haunted maze, which they did not expect. Kaushi finds it spooky but still loves it, and his masculine side takes over and begins fighting the cosplay demon to protect Kiria. He turns to Kiria, says that she is safe now, and asks her to guide them the way outside. Athena and Kiria are confused about his behavior as to what happened to him. They begin to explore the maze more and more and enjoy themselves, but no one could enjoy it more than Kaushi, and it is visible. Athena and Kiria wonder how suddenly Kaushi started acting his age out of the blue. Something feels off. But Athena wishes that he showed that side of him more often. Kiria and Kaushi decide to make the most of it, submit themselves to Kaushi, and ask him to take them out of the maze. As they make their way to the maze of darkness, they all trip together, and suddenly the lights are on. Koshi's best luck. One hand of his lands on Athena's milkers and the other on Kiria's. Out of nervousness, Kaushi screams his apology that he did not mean to fall like that on them. Later on, Kaushi goes to Minoru and says that he drank the elixir by mistake and wants a solution for it now. But to his surprise, Minoru says that is amazing because all she did was put water in it. She filled it with water to test out the placebo effect. So yes, Kaushi acted like a complete idiot out of his own free will. All of those dumb idiotic things he did on his own, not due to an elixir. Frey behind the curtains looks at them and asks Kiria and Atina if they had something weird happen, and they exclaim that everything was normal. Frey tells them Sutia had an amazing time at the cafe too. As they look at Sutia, she is keeping all the men under her feet. I need the location of the cafe. The men beg to be stepped on. They are literally me. Frey remarks that Sutia is less of a maid and more of a gracious queen as observed. But as she says that, Serene jumps into the cafe, being chased by the weird researchers trying to capture her, thinking Serene is an alien. To save Serene, Miniru throws the pink mist again, and everyone is distracted again and instead begins chasing Kiria. The way Kiria looked hot, even I would want her to step on me. Atina and Frey stand there, wondering what a complete mess this festival was, as Sutia steps on another man. I never knew Sutia would turn out to be such a mommy. Kiria answers the phone and sounds super surprised. As she keeps the phone, Atina and Kaushi ask what the matter is. Kiria tells them that, as they know, her family runs a dojo, so a lot of their students are children. So they throw a Christmas party every year for them, handing out candy and Christmas presents. But on the phone, Kiria gets informed that her family is going out of town because they won some tickets only for the day of the party. Now they have asked Kiria to run the entire thing on her own. Kaushi and Atina think that this is a tough job, but Atina offers to lend a hand to Kiria. Atina further adds that she could put her home EC club and childhood studies to some test too. Hearing Atina, Kaushi says he could help too. Kiria sounds relieved and says that they should go shopping on their next day off. On their day off, Atina gets ready to go shopping. She takes a shower while sitting on a stool and wonders how fun it would be to take a trip to the town with Kiria and Kaushi. Even Kaushi is really excited for the Christmas party. He enters the shower to clean it, and he gets his surprise even before Christmas. Atina is holding a towel on her body as she just got out of the shower too. Out of nervousness, both of them scream. Kaushi apologizes for entering without knocking, and Atina apologizes that she should have showered at night. On an attempt to run outside, Atina bumps into and trips on Kaushi. The towel falls on his face, and Atina lands in his special place. As Kaushi takes the towel off his face, Atina is sitting on him with her hooters right in front of him. The only present I want from Santa is this. Atina's red from embarrassment, and her nose bleeds again. With a nose plug screwed in her nose, Atina apologizes that she can't go shopping. As Atina says, she falls down out of weakness. Kiria says that Atina does not need to strain herself. Instead, Kaushi covers up for Atina and says he is ready to do all the work. With spirit, Kaushi tells Kiria to go with him to the store, just the two of them. Kiria, for some reason, blushes at the statement he made. Kiria turns to Atina and tells her to stay home and get some rest. As they are about to leave, Miniru pops up and asks teasingly if they are going on a date. Kiria gets so shy that there is nothing like that and breaks the door by punching it out of shyness. Kaushi runs behind her to wait for her. Minoru gets on with fixing the door, while Atina is shivering from the cold as she is sick from the nosebleed she had earlier. As they reach the mall, Kaushi and Kiria wonder where they should start shopping. Kiria brushes her thoughts off and says on her phone that they should start by getting some snacks for the party. After that, they can pick up the presents for the kids. Reaching the snack aisle, they feel nostalgic looking at all the snacks, as it reminds them of their old days. Kaushi asks Kiria if she used to eat these a lot as a kid too, to which Kiria says that the dojo was strict about having snacks between meals. She always wished that she could get all of the snacks, so Kaushi suggests that they should get all of them now. Then, Kiria points in a certain direction for their next stop. Entering the present aisle, Kaushi and Kiria begin to look for some presents. Kiria overhears a couple talking about how being on a shopping date is much more fun. She looks at Kaushi, blushes, and begins thinking of it as a shopping date. They have a lot of fun picking the presents and selecting the best of them. After a while, they stand under a Christmas tree, and Kaushi says that the tree looks so cool. Kiria, looking at all the couples, begins getting closer to Kaushi while her cheeks are red. Then Kaushi asks if Kiria is hungry, and she says yes, she is, so they go to eat something. As they eat on a table sitting across from each other, Kiria's delusions make her think that this is actually a date. Some girls look at Kiria and Kaushi and wonder how pretty they are, thinking they are the older sister and younger brother. Kiria overhears them and frowns that it is true. Kaushi does look like her younger brother, but what matters to Kiria is how Kaushi thinks of her. An older sister or an older brother because of how masculine she is. What if she was Atina? But she soon realizes if she feels jealous of Athena. Unable to process her feelings, Kiria wonders how she wants Kaushi to feel for her. Returning to the mall, Kaushi looked at the toys and exclaimed happily at how many pretty toys there were. There was a costume of a Santa riding a reindeer. Kaushi finds it funny and amusing that it is a great idea for an outfit. Kiria notices that Kaushi has gotten comfortable enough with her and acts like a kid his age. But Kiria realizes that she is now thinking like an older sister, and she needs to make up her mind already. Then Kaushi asks if Kiria wants to be the Santa for the kids' party. Answering him, Kiria says she has not really thought about it because it is her dad who usually becomes Santa. But to think about it, Kiria wonders if she could dress up this time and put a beard on her, which Kaushi finds odd. Kaushi says if Kiria were to ask Frey, she would suggest a fancy costume like the one he shows her. He already imagined how good Kiria would look in it. Kiria asks if a feminine outfit like that would suit Athena more than her since Kiria gives off a masculine vibe. Kaushi tells her that Kiria did great on the school festival, but Kiria doesn't have to dress a specific way, at least this is what Kaushi thinks. But in fact, Kiria should try more feminine clothes, according to Kaushi. Still, Kaushi says that they should ask Frey first about it. Getting back home, Kaushi and Kiria ask Frey about the costume suggestions, and Frey jumps out of happiness to leave the fashion part to her. She assures them that she will make the best costumes for them. Kaushi, out of niceness, says that this is not really an easy job, and it is Frey's choice to still make the outfits for them. Frey says she enjoys it a lot, so it is not really a problem for her. She adds that if it were any other day than Christmas, Frey would love to lend a hand to them. But she already has a commitment with someone else, so she would just make the outfits for them. Frey comes near Kiria and says to take her measurements first. Kaushi says that he will excuse himself, but Frey ties him up with her measurement tape because Frey is going to dress him up as a reindeer. But first, Frey is taking Kiria's measurements and asking Kiria to take her clothes off. Kaushi shuts his eyes tightly since he is tied up. In a flirty way, Frey takes Kiria's measurements, and it genuinely sounds so hot that it is getting hard for Kaushi to keep his eyes closed. His morals are being tested, but after all, he still is a man, so Kaushi crawls out of the room nervous. The next day, Kaushi again walks on Athena naked, making her nose bleed, and Athena again has to excuse herself as she fell sick. But Kiria wonders what to do with the outfit Frey made for Athena. Right at that moment, Serene walks in, saying that the skies are clear and she can make use of her lunar technology. Kiria asks for a favor from Serene, and she agrees to a bag of rice crackers. Now Kaushi, Kiria, and Serene are set to travel, and they travel by train. After traveling for a while, they reach the town and go to Kiria's place. Or Kiria likes to say it as childhood home turned into a martial arts studio. As the three of them enter it, the kids turn to Kiria, excited to see her. They exclaim out of happiness. The kids ask if she will be their sensei for today, and Kiria says yes. Kaushi compliments Kiria, saying that she is amazing at it, to which Kiria says that these are just really well-behaved kids. Asking Kiria, the kids ask who the other two she brought are, and Kiria says that they are there to help her out. Kaushi looks at one of them and asks if they are her younger brother, and he says yes, he is. The kids exclaim that Kaushi and Serene are total rookies, so they are excited for two more practice buddies. They grab them out to get Kaushi and Serene changed into uniforms. Later on, Serene and Kaushi sit in the studio in the corner in uniforms after getting changed. Kiria begins teaching the kids lessons for the day. First, she begins with teaching falling lessons. Kaushi wonders if Kiria is really talented, as she could do various martial arts techniques. All Kaushi could remember was that Kiria taught Serene Tai Chi in front of the dorm. Interrupting his thoughts, Kiria says Kaushi is up next. He did not know he had to practice too, since he did not volunteer for it. Well, Kaushi does try some martial arts, but Kiria attacks him and slams him on the floor. But soon enough, she realizes that she attacked an amateur and gets trembled. Kaushi says it is alright since he has gone through the same situation before, so it is more like déjà vu to him. But Kaushi tries to calm her down by saying that nothing much happened. I totally want Kiria to try it on me and throw me on the bed. Kiria's younger brother approached Kaushi and wondered what he should call Kaushi, totally embarrassing him. Well, Kaushi knows for sure that the kids sure ain't shy. But Kaushi does realize that the kids have a really cool image of her, which Kaushi does not have in his mind. Since Serene's turn was next, Serene's honkers escaped the uniform during the practice. As soon as Kaoshi sees the unholiness, he attacks her with Fuki Mamoru-kun. Of course, Kaoshi remembers that, after all, he did not forget his dorm mother duties. After some practice, Kiriya wraps up the practice for the day and the kids obey her. Kaoshi changes into his reindeer outfit, but he feels a bit tired. Nonetheless, the show has to keep going. He enters the studio again and tells the kids that before Santa arrives, the kids need to decorate the studio and get the preparation done. The kids ask about what kind of preparations, to which Kaoshi hands them out the decorations to put all on the studio. Moreover, Kaoshi will hand out the good kid badges he made for them. If the kids wear them and wait for Santa patiently, Santa will get them gifts. Oh well, the kids find the badges lame, and they pass on the idea of them waiting for the presents. Kaoshi wonders that kids sure are hard to please since he spent hours making them, but they still find it lame. But then, Kaoshi looks at a little kid who is sitting all alone in the corner, so he goes to her and sits beside her. He asks what is wrong. The little girl says that only good kids get presents from Santa, and that makes her sad. Kaoshi asks why she thinks that. The girl explains that she is the worst student in the entire class, and she doesn't consider herself worthy of a present. Further on, she feels like she is not even brave enough to be friends with the other kids and feels like an outcast. Kaoshi says that this was not what he had in mind when he made the badges, but he does understand what the girl is trying to explain, trying to make friends when you feel like an outsider. Even Kaoshi wonders sometimes that he does not even deserve how many good friends he has, thinking about his dorm residence. The badges he made were for everyone who tried their hardest and gave their best in the practice. Kaoshi asks the little girl if she tried her best in the practice, to which the girl says yes, she did give her best. Kaoshi further says that Santa will come for her and bring her a present. Then he gives the girl a badge, which she wears around her neck, getting really happy. The other kids then approach Kaoshi, saying that he did not tell them that this badge was meant to be a reward. Despite that, Kaoshi did put in a lot of effort to make the kids realize it. Kaoshi gets really emotional hearing the kids realize his efforts. Then he tells the kids to get the place in order and decorate it, and the kids seem super excited and full of spirit for the task. After a while, when the kids are done decorating, Santa and the elf arrive. Kiriya is Santa, and the elf is Serene, looking smoking hot, while the outfits they are wearing really do not look kid-friendly, to which Kaoshi gets embarrassed. Kiriya says now is the time for presents. The kids gather around Serene and Kiriya and wonder how pretty that outfit is. Kiriya says that a friend of hers made it for her, referring to Free. Kiriya turns to Kaoshi, asking about how the outfit looks on her. Kaoshi says it looks really cute on her. One of the kids screams that Kiriya is wearing a skirt without shorts and lifts it from behind. Well, Kiriya then reminds the kid who is the boss and throws him away. Kiriya turns to Kaoshi and nervously says, in anger, to distribute the presents among the kids. The kids get all the presents. Even the little girl gets approached by some other kids to be her friend, and she gladly accepts it. Kaoshi happily looks at her, thinking that he is glad she made friends. Other than that, everyone liked the presents they got. Kiriya's younger brother says that they missed the part where Santa rides the reindeer. He turns to Kiriya and says to hop on Kaoshi's back, to which she blushes and gets shy that she won't sit. Well, instead, Serene rides him and sits on Kaoshi's back without any hesitation. But as Serene sits, Kaoshi realizes she is not wearing anything inside. He asks if that is how it is, awkwardly, and Serene says yes without feeling shy. She is not wearing anything inside. Oh, his good days. Cherry on top, Serene starts moving on his back, rubbing herself for him to start moving, already making Kaoshi feel whatever she has inside. Kaoshi ran outside super fast. Probably Serene's butt cheeks worked like a whip on his back. Serene held him tight while he ran with speed. The kids all laugh and say bye-bye to the reindeer, thinking it was all normal. Well, it is the normal for goddess dormitory girls. Later on, Kaoshi sits outside the studio. Kiriya approaches him and says that Kaoshi did a great job, to which Kaoshi says that Kiriya herself did a great job too. But Kiriya said that if the kids were happy, it was because of Kaoshi and his efforts. Further, she says that she would have gotten him a present, but it slipped Kiriya's mind totally. Kaoshi says that it is no problem, but turns, takes a badge out, and ties it around Kiriya's neck. A reward from reindeer to Santa is a hard worker badge. Kiriya blushes at it and starts getting closer to Kaoshi. Holding eye contact with Kaoshi, Kiriya brings her lips closer to his, but soon they get interrupted, or more like Kiriya's attempt failed. It was Serene who was standing behind them, eating some snacks. Kiriya begins explaining that she was not doing anything. The perfect end to the night is when it begins to snow and they all look up at the sky. I'm still wondering how they are not getting cold while wearing little to no clothes. Performing his dorm mother duties while brooming outside, Kaushi feels cold. Athena sees that from the terrace. Suddenly, Mineru and Frey call everyone inside the home. They have a little surprise for everyone, and tada! It is a kotatsu. Kaushi rolls with happiness, saying he always wanted one. Mineru asks if this is the first kotatsu Kaushi ever got, and he says yes, that this is his first one. She tells him to go ahead and try it out. Frey joins and says it must have been freezing outside. Kyria says you want to be in this too. Athena and Serena follow along too. Kaushi feels very relieved, and he does not feel cold anymore. Kyria says she wants to sit next to Kaushi, which makes Athena jealous, and she bluntly asks why she wants to sit beside him. Mineru asks where else she would sit. Athena has no answer whatsoever other than Mineru is right, but Frey teases her, saying it as if she wanted to sit next to Kaushi. Kaushi and Athena both blush, to which Kyria says that she did not mean to invade their space. Well, to Kaushi's luck, Kyria begins to tease him by saying he can sit on her lap like her younger brother. Any boy's lifespan would increase by 10 years if a hot girl would make them sit on her lap. Kaushi gets hella nervous sitting on her lap and finds it inappropriate, so he gets up and sits back in his place. Athena is jealous that Kaushi is such a jerk. They begin talking about kotatsu, saying that once it gets into clutches, it is impossible to break free. Frey joins in and puts her feet on Athena's thigh. She laughs, saying someone always ends up bumping their cold feet onto someone else. In a flirty way, Frey and Mineru say that they don't sit under a kotatsu every day, so let's make the most of it. Since all their legs are underneath the kotatsu, they are practically defenseless. With that, Serene starts rubbing her feet on Kaushi's knee, and Kaushi nervously asks her to stop. But Mineru joins in, teasing him too, and says he is free to stretch his legs too. Then Frey takes his foot and starts to rub on her inner thigh, making Athena feel super jealous. Mineru says to let the game of footsies begin. They all begin to run on each other's legs and play along with it. Only if I could join them too. Even Athena starts playing with them and accidentally hits Frey's sensitive spot, to which Frey says she's going to make her quiver. Athena apologizes, but realizes that she is getting nothing but teased. Kaushi gets happy seeing the girls having fun. Kyria hands him an orange and says to eat it. Kaushi begins to say that he always wanted to feel like that, hanging out with his family in the kotatsu. The girls reassure him that this is his home, and they are his family now. Kyria says when she used to live with her parents, she would watch her younger brother study at the kotatsu table. When they could not resist the charm of kotatsu, they would fall asleep underneath it while doing their homework. Athena thinks that an older sister helping her younger brother do the homework sounds lovely. Kaushi says that he has not done any homework in a while with his friends. Before Athena says something, Kaushi says he will bring Steia over sometime to do the homework. Athena gets really jealous of it, but nonetheless, she agrees with the idea, although she wanted Kaushi to get his homework done with her instead of Steia. Kaushi needs to get his priorities straight though, or let's just let it pass since he is literally just 12 right now. The next day, Kaushi convinces Steia to get their homework done in the goddess dormitory. Steia asks him the reason, which he says is because they have recently set up a kotatsu. Hearing about kotatsu, Steia gets angry, wondering why she would willingly sit under something so warm while having a medical condition. Kaushi asks if that's a no, and she doesn't want to study with him. Steia says the kotatsu was the only reason he wanted her to come and nothing else's. Trying to explain to her, Kaushi says that if Steia thinks straightly about it, it is a good idea to study under a kotatsu in the winter, as they could get cozy and warm under it. Steia yells that it is still hot for her to handle. Kaushi says that they could study even if they don't turn on the kotatsu, which Steia says literally defeats the purpose of the kotatsu. My man's trying everything to get under it with her, but this hangout is going to be different from the festival and the trip, and Kaushi is finding it troubling to invite someone over. After throwing a tantrum, Steia agrees, under one condition, that she wants ice cream, and Kaushi agrees to her terms. A while later, they reach the dorm, but surprisingly, no one is using the kotatsu. Kaushi is amazed at how no one is using the kotatsu. Steia wonders if the kotatsu is really that popular among the dorm residents. Kaushi says yes. Since they set it over, Serene always spends time underneath it, curled up. Steia wonders why the heck Serene is so lazy. Well, if no one is home, then they should start getting their homework done, as Steya suggests to Kaushi. On the other hand, Athena is getting some yarn from the supermarket and wonders what color she should pick. She is thinking of making a gift for Kaushi. Thinking to herself, she wonders if Kaushi and Steya have started doing their homework yet. Well, back at the dorm, Kaushi is freezing while being under the kotatsu. Watching him freeze, Steya says to turn on the kotatsu if he is that cold. Kaushi says of course, and he'll keep it at the lowest temperature so she doesn't get uncomfortable. As he turns it on, Kaushi sees the milky thighs of Steya under the kotatsu and gets shy and nervous. Steya asks what the matter is as he literally turned red, but Kaushi brushes it off as if he didn't just see some unholiness. There, Athena gets some yarn from the supermarket and looks excited about it. While doing the homework, Kaushi finds himself really dizzy but looks at Steya, who has already fallen asleep. Giving up on the powers of kotatsu, he leaves the homework and sleeps too. Suddenly, Steya wakes up, saying it is too hot, and tells Kaushi to wake up, but he is so deep into sleep that he doesn't listen. Steya looks at Kaushi's homework and wonders how much he has completed till now. Because he has always sucked so badly in math, like most of us, she solves it for him. Under the kotatsu, Kaushi accidentally puts his foot on Steya's kitty, and she blushes as his feet rubs her sensitive spot. She tries telling him that his foot is in her sensitive spot, but unknowingly as Kaushi is asleep, he keeps it moving, making Steya moan. It probably reminded Steya of the fish that sneaked into her bikini at the beach. Steya looks the other way and sees that Athena came home and saw what was going on. Getting embarrassed, Steya throws the tabletop on Kaushi, crushing him under it. My dude wasn't even at the fault. Later on, Mineru and Frey get back home too. They find Athena, Steya, and Kaushi already at home. Athena asks if they were out shopping too, to which they say they got kimchi, and they all could eat it together. Kiri gets back home too, and she says she has a big appetite right now. Mineru goes to Kaushi and says that she has a demand for dinner, but as Kaushi turns around, she sees that he is wearing a sign around his neck. It says banned from kotatsu, since today he discovered that kotatsu can be cold and painful too, pointing at Steya. Because Steya made him sit under a cold kotatsu and then threw the entire tabletop on him. After some time, Athena starts making something from the yarn she got but looks confused by the instructions given. Then she overhears Kaushi bidding farewell to Frey. Frey is leaving to cosplay at an event, but before she leaves, Frey says to Kaushi that he will be looking after the spring cleaning. Kaushi says yes, he will be, to which Frey says that she will take care of her room when she is back. But Kaushi says he doesn't mind cleaning it up for her. Frey says it is just a tad bit messy, but she appreciates getting her work done by him. The poor boy did not know what was coming for him when he took the job. The room was absolutely messy as Kaushi laid his eyes on it, wondering what she even meant by being a tad bit messy. Athena says that she could lend him a hand to clean it up. He promises to clean her room after he gets done with Frey's room, but Athena says her room is just fine. Kaushi says there's no need to bother her room if it's clean. As they were talking, they saw Serene's room's door was about to burst open, as if it had suddenly had a lot of stuff inside it. They run to the door to quickly get it opened, but it is literally stuck. Athena runs outside to see the window to see if they could enter through it, and to see Serene already hanging to get out of the room. She says it was the next logical thing to do since the door of the room is stuck and she wanted to get out. Well, Kaushi runs out to save her from falling and getting hurt, and Serene falls on his face, making a safe landing. No wonder why geeks are so obsessed with anime. Kaushi asks if she is alright, and Serene says yes, she is safe. Well, that was a hella good landing. Getting inside the dorm, the door is still jammed and looks like it could burst open too. Standing outside Serene's door, Athena, Kaushi, and Steya try their best to open the door, but instead, a weird goo begins leaking out of her room. Kaushi wonders if this spring cleaning has become a total nightmare. Well, Steya says that she is going to inspect the goddess dormitory once again. Going back to Frey's room, Kaushi, Steya, and Athena sit, arranging the clothes. Steya wonders why no one else is helping them, to which Kaushi says that everyone else is busy other than the three of them. Then he thanks Steya, saying that thankfully she showed up, or else they wouldn't be able to work. Our sweet little Athena gets jealous that Kaushi did not thank her the way he thanks Steya. But then, Kaushi thanks Athena again for volunteering to help clean Frey's room. Frey's room is a complete mess as the stuff is scattered all over the place. Suddenly, Kaushi looks at an outfit that brings back memories, the cat outfit that Frey forced him to wear. He goes through a bit of his outfits that Frey made for him. Then he picks up a pair of thongs. Obviously, it is Frey's daily underwear. Staya spots the thong on his hand and calls him a bastard out of anger. But again, Staya wonders how he even agreed to wear something like that under a cosplay. Well, after a while, they were able to clean the room, and the room looked super squeaky clean. Alone, Frey's room took a lot of time, tiring the hell out of Staya. Kaushi says do not give up, and right now they still have a lot of things to clean in the dorm. Then Kaushi turns to Athena and asks if she is tired or if she could still work. Next to Serene's room, but she does not let them enter it, so they make their way to Mineru's room instead. Knocking on the door of Mineru's room, they get no response and then enter it. Her room looks less like a room but more like a laboratory. As they enter it further into the room, they get showered by something, then air-dried as if they are chicken pieces. But before getting dried up, as Kaushi turns to Staya and Athena, they are wet in water. Eye-healing sight. Finally, Mineru is out of the laboratory and says that it was a decontamination thing that she forgot to turn off. Then Mineru shows them the laboratory she recently outfitted, which looks super expensive to make. Kaushi is happier that the room is already so clean that he doesn't even need to touch it. Athena now says it is finally time to clean Serene's room, but Serene tells them at the entrance that it would be foolish to cross this point until they want to meet their demise. She adds that if you move further to the point Serene has marked, it would bring wrath, but Athena knows how to play with her. Athena gives her a bag of snacks, and Serene is bribed easily. Now using their combined strength, Athena, Kaushi, and Staya, combining this strength, try to open the door but end up breaking it. But as they break the door, all of the stuff that Serena has in her room falls outside. At first they think that it's trash, but it does not look like trash. Staya finds a weird box, Kaushi finds Christmas decorations, and Mineru finds some alcohol. Athena then asks Serene what this is all about. Serene answers that it's her way of showing gratitude for the past year. She adds that Athena moved in, Kaushi moved in, and then Staya also started coming in often. The goddess dormitory has become livelier over the past year. Even though she is eccentric, Kaushi managed to look after her. Staya wonders that at least Serene is aware of how weird she is. Kaushi asks Serene if she bought that stuff for them out of gratitude. While as weird as she is, she says no, Serene dug them out of the segments. Since Mineru found a bottle of alcohol, she got drunk and told Serene that she did a good job. Serene says that the alcohol was meant for the New Year's celebration. Kaushi and Athena say that they are going to tidy up the place for Serene. But Mineru's drunk self goes to Athena and says to have a drink with her. Athena says that she is still underage and that she can't have alcohol. The smell of it is so strong that, just by its smell, Athena is madly attracted to the alcohol. Someone's about to commit a crime. On the other hand, Staya and Kaushi try to tidy up Serene's room. Staya says that they are out of strings for the magazines. Kaushi gets up and says that he is going to get some more strings. As he gets out, he gets approached by Mineru's voice. Kaushi sees that the three of the girls, Athena, Serene, and Mineru, are drunk. They ask Kaushi what he's doing. Kaushi screams that he should be the one to ask that question to them. But then he spots the bottle of alcohol and Mineru crawls to him. She jumps on Kaushi and hugs him, saying Mineru feels sick, and Serene puts her head on Kaushi's lap too, saying she feels sleepy and needs a lap pillow. Athena says that it's not fair and hugs Kaushi tightly to the point where he can't breathe. Kaushi exclaims that Athena is drunk too, but Athena cuts him off, saying that he is such a big jerk as she felt jealous. Drunk Athena says, "Why is it always gotta be Staya and not her?" She adds that she wants to be as close to him as possible. But he just doesn't get it, no matter how hard she tries. Then Kaushi lays back down as Athena is curled up on him. Laying back, he wants to hold Athena with his hands and says maybe this is what a precarious situation is, as people say. Well, to the poor boy's bad luck, Staya overhears him and says she will show him what a precarious situation actually is. Kaushi looks terrified as hell, as Athena has fallen asleep right there on the floor. I would exchange life with Kaushi any day if it meant getting surrounded by ladies. The very next day, as Kaushi is brewing outside the dorm again, he thinks that it was such a headache doing the spring cleaning. He feels cold and sneezes because of the cold weather as cold breeze passes by. On the other hand, Athena stays up all night to make a present for Kaushi on New Year's Eve. Later in the dorm, Kaushi asks the girls how they will be spending their new year and if they have any plans for it. Mineru says she has research to do, so she will stay back at the dorm. Meanwhile, Frey has another event to attend. Kaushi asks why she is still working during the holidays as she should relax. To which Mineru replies that scientists don't have any holidays and all they do is get some more work done. Other than that, she is renovating her laboratory into a third-level biocontainment facility too. Kaushi asks where she finds all the space to keep that stuff. She says it's a secret she wants to keep, and she is thinking of upgrading to level 4 next year. Jokingly, Kaushi says that he is begging Mineru to not do anything anymore and pours soup out in a bowl. But as he pours the soup out, his vision blurs, and he ends up spilling the soup a little bit. He brushes it off thinking it's nothing. There, Kiria says she is staying for the holidays too, as she has already seen everyone at Christmas, so she doesn't need to go back anymore. Plus, even if she goes back, she would just have to look after her younger brothers and babysit them. Of course, no one willingly wants to be the mother of their parents' kids. Mineru teases her that Kiria would rather pester Kaushi, to which Kiria gets nervous and says it isn't like that. Then, Kaushi asks Serene what she is doing for holidays and says she is staying back too. Coming downstairs, Athena says she is staying for the holidays too. Kaushi happily asks if that's true, to which Athena says yes. Mineru teases Kaushi that he seems happy, but Kaushi is just happy because he never imagined he would ever have a warm new year again. Since his house burned down, Kaushi says he had no idea he would soon be surrounded by friends celebrating the new year. To be honest, he did not even expect to make it to the end of the year. But now he is grateful that Goddess Dormitory is his home and the girls are his family. For him, it is a dream come true. With spirit, he says to make this year the best New Year's Eve. I used to have the same spirit when I was 12. Kaushi says he will try to make something special, for which Mineru says he is going to need some money. For that, she picks up the piggy bank and takes out money. Giving it to Kaushi, she says to get groceries from it. Mineru says to take Athena with him since he wouldn't want to go alone, and Athena says she is a bit busy, so she won't be available. Kaushi is shocked at it, but Kiria says she is happy to help him. From the kotatsu, Serene says they also need crab crackers. From her window, Athena sees Kiria and Kaushi leaving, and she thinks she has to complete Kaushi's gift before the new year. That is why she didn't go with him, because under any circumstances she has to get it done for him. At the supermarket, Kaushi and Kiria begin shopping for groceries. Kaushi sneezes again, and Kiria asks if he would be okay, and he says yes, he would be. But Kaushi is thinking about something else instead. He wonders if he made Athena upset through any of his actions that she didn't come along with him. Kiria grabs an instant meal to make for the New Year's Eve, but Kaushi stops and tells her that he will make a meal from scratch for the girls. He begins grabbing the shrimp and some groceries. Kiria is about to ask him if she could learn how to cook, but he doesn't respond. Suddenly, Kaushi faints and falls to the floor as the packet of shrimp falls from his hand. Back at home, Athena is done knitting some gloves for Kaushi as his gift. Kiria opens the door with a heavy breath and says to Athena that something happened to Kaushi. Everyone sits around Kaushi as he is unconscious in his room, wrapped in a blanket. Frey returns home, and when she sees Kaushi, she runs to him, smothering him in her honkers. That would even wake up the dead. Well, no surprise, Kaushi does wake up after getting squeezed up. Big milkers are the solution to everything. Athena attacks Fuki Mamoru-kun again to not tease Kaushi while he is sick. Checking his fever, Mineru sees that he has a high fever, while Serene says that he has an upper respiratory tract infection. Kaushi says that he has been getting unusual chills since the morning but didn't think much of it. The girls say that he scared the crap out of them and that he should be more careful with himself. There is no need to overwork himself. The girls add that because Kaushi looks exhausted too. But worriedly, Kaushi says that he has to get everything done for the new year, along with preparations and decorations. They say that it is alright and he should just get some rest and sleep and not worry about the celebration. Then Athena says with puppy dog eyes that he should please get some rest, to which Kaushi agrees. Frey smothers him in her boobs again and says Athena is right that he should get some rest. Then she teases Kaushi that he should sleep with her, to which Athena tells her to knock it off as Kaushi is sick and not tease him. I wouldn't have given a second thought to that offer. Outside the room, the girls gather around the table to find a solution for Kaushi's sickness. Mineru says that it goes without saying that a cold can be cured by adequate rest, good nourishment, and a devoted nurse. Whether or not Kaoshi's wellness depends on the girls, everyone agrees, and Frey finds another idea that she will be the devoted nurse for him and throws on a nurse outfit. Well, made by Frey, the outfit is more about luring into something fishy than fulfilling the purpose of a nurse. Athena yells, why does she want to change Goddess Dormitory into a strip club? Frey says that she has an outfit for Athena too, to convince her, but Athena straight away denies. Kyria says that the best way to be a cold is good nourishment. With that, Kyria squeezes apples in her hands so hard that all the juice comes out of them. I bet when she chokes, the other person dies. Well, a good way to die, not gonna lie. Serene secretly grabs the fruits, hoping she will have the rest of them. But Kyria takes them from her and starts breaking and squeezing their juice out. On the other hand, Staya comes and goes directly to Kaoshi and begins violently shaking him to ask about his wellness. Kaoshi says that it's just a cold and she should stop moving him that violently. Staya says she got scared that Kyria was about to die and leave her alone again. Then Staya says that she is going to check his fever by touching his forehead against hers. She can detect it easily because of her medical condition. Finding out about his high fever, Staya passes out too and falls on Kaoshi. Athena and Mineru were seeing all this happening from the entrance of the room, so Athena and Mineru carry Staya out of the room so she feels well too. With that, Kaoshi says he needs to focus on getting better and lays back down again, but to his surprise, Frey sneaks in. Realizing that Kaoshi isn't alone, he looks back and finds Frey, who says to get him examined by sneaking her hand in his shirt to tease him. Well, Athena enters again and says Frey needs to stop playing doctor and let Kaoshi have some rest. Frey says to Athena that she gave her the wrong idea by saying that she was playing doctor. Then, Kyria brings juice to Kaoshi for him to drink, but it looks madly disgusting. It is literally purple-colored goo. Athena thought Kyria was doing the same thing as Frey and yelled, resulting in Kyria dropping the juice on Athena's head. Immediately, Kyria apologizes, but Athena is more concerned about Kaoshi and asks if he is okay. Well, somehow her shirt fell and her milkers squeezed Kaoshi's face. Athena screams, why did her shirt fall off? And her nose begins bleeding. Frey and Kyria carry Athena outside, promising that they will clean up this mess later on. With that, Kaoshi gets back to rest and gets some good sleep so he can get better as soon as possible. Since Kaoshi is sick, the girls divide the duties among them and get to work while Kaoshi can't. Meanwhile, Kaoshi begins to have nightmares about his previous home being on fire. But he soon wakes up, breathing heavily and drenched in sweat. He gets up, realizes his fever has gone down, and gets out of the room where he sees Kyria. She was taking the clothes to get the laundry done. Spotting Kaoshi, Kyria tells him to go rest, but Kushi says that he started sweating, so he got up to rinse the sweat off with a shower. In that case, Kyria says she will wash his clothes and take his clothes off like she used to take her brother's clothes off. Kaoshi gets embarrassed, and he runs to the bathroom to get a shower, where he is met with a surprise. Frey and Serene welcome him inside the bathroom to give him a relaxing shower to calm his fever. They pick him up, take him to the shower, and begin to wash him off with their own bodies rubbing on top of his body with some soap. Meanwhile, doing the laundry, Kyria tries to take a sniff of Kaoshi's clothes, but gets nervous, wondering what is wrong with her. She hears Kaoshi's voice running out of the bathroom, so she looks outside and finds him stripped down. They both get nervous, so Kyria throws some random clothes at him, so he wears them. Well, what he got were some crop tops and some shorts. But being a people's pleaser, Kaoshi says he loves the outfit. Moreover, he says that wearing those clothes, he will broom outside and get to work again. Kyria asks if he is okay with it, and Kaoshi insists on working out of nervousness. Not for long though, the cold breeze makes him catch a cold again, and he begins sneezing and shivering, so he goes back inside. Whereas Athena and Mineru are making some soup for Kaoshi to eat and feel better. As it looks plain and boring, Athena says she will add some eggs to it. But to her surprise, there are no eggs. That is because Serene ate them all raw, wondering what else she could eat raw. To Serene, they were reminiscent of the moon, so she admired them so much that she ate them all raw. Mineru came up with a solution. She made a potion that is a substitute for eggs. She says that it provides the same nutrition as eggs do, but in an even better way. But honestly, that thing looks absolutely gross, enough to make someone nauseated. Athena begins taking it from her hand, saying that Mineru can't add her potion to it and ruin the soup they made for Kaoshi. whereas Kaushi enters the house and says that he got his fever back again and wants something warm to drink. Seeing Kaushi, they get startled by him and accidentally drop that potion into the soup, and it blasts. Well, that was a failed one. Not only the blast happened, but what more blasting was there? Mineru and Athena's clothes got totally torn apart. Athena yells, "Why does it always have to be their clothes to be ripped off?" But instead of Athena looking at them, Kaushi passes out in the kitchen again with a high fever and embarrassment. Later on, they brought Kaushi to his room, and his fever got back, and this time it was way higher than before. The girls say that the neighborhood clinic has already closed for the holidays. It would take Kaushi to the hospital in case the fever got worse and the situation got tenser. They regret the fact that they weren't as careful with him before and never looked out for him, but now they are going to take turns looking after him until he gets well. To which Athena says she will do it alone. She will look after him. Kyria and Frey say that she will get exhausted if she does it all alone, but Athena insists that it is her fault, so she will take care of him now. Mineru says to let Athena take care of him, and if she gets tired, the others can still take over. Then Athena begins taking care of Kaushi. Later, Steia leaves for home too. Frey asks if she could go alone, and Steia says yes, she can. Other than that, they are better at taking care of Kaushi. Meanwhile, Athena changes Kaushi's clothes, and Kyria passes by, saying to take good care of him. Athena caresses Kaushi's head and tells him to get well soon. Taking care of him, Athena says to him that if he remembers the day he met her and the tantrum she threw, she says that she was deathly afraid of men and insisted on moving out. But she realized that he was different. Kaushi always protected Athena from different men. It made Athena happy that she could trust Kaushi. Since Kaushi has come to live with them, they have had their ups and downs, including embarrassing and inappropriate moments too. But every day was something new, as she had lots of fun with his presence too. The way they all laughed together and had their precious, safe, and secure moments made her feel happy. Athena owes it all to Kaushi, and she can confidently say that she is glad that she picked him up from the bench that day. She is glad that he became a part of the goddess dormitory. There are still so many things she hasn't had a chance to tell him. Then she bends down and lays on him, saying he should try to get well soon, as Athena wants to spend more time with him. Further, she adds that she wants to be mad at him, cry with him, and laugh with him. The next morning, Kaushi wakes up, and he sees Athena sleeping beside him. He realizes that she has been looking after him this entire time, and then she falls asleep. Athena wakes up and greets him a good morning, and Kaushi greets her back. Then she checks his fever as soon as she wakes up to see if he is okay now. It seems like his fever is gone, as Athena checked it. Since Kaushi is well now, he gets back to work, but this time he wraps himself up in thick clothes. Athena walks out of the dormitory and says that he should take another day for rest. But Kaushi says that if he does that, he will miss New Year's Eve, and he doesn't want to do that. Everyone's celebration would go to a huge waste. Athena agrees to it, as he insists on getting his dorm mother duties done. Then Athena hands him over the present she made for him. To not catch another cold, she made gloves for him and got excited to see them and literally wore them that instant. After Kaushi wears them, he finds them so warm and thanks Athena for such a heartfelt gift. Kaushi says he has to get groceries for dinner tonight, and Athena says she will go with him. Walking out of the dorm, Mineru and Frey say to let them tag along too. Serene and Frey hop in too. With that, Steia reaches out to check if Kaushi is doing well now. They all laugh and go grocery shopping together. Before they leave, Kaushi looks happily at the goddess dormitory, his new home, a warm place. The girls call him to hurry up, and they all go grocery shopping together.